I think we are live.
We're live?
Yes, we are live.
Okay. Hey!
Oh, okay, YouTube cut out your like A for a bit. Okay, now let's go to hello everyone. All right. Hey, hey. All right.
Oh, I'm on TV. I'm on TV.
Sure. Okay. All right. So we're gonna have the game in the background. You know, maybe I should have the volume like a little lower. Game volume can be a little loud sometimes. Hello everyone. You know, you guys have really good mic settings. Is something that I noticed. My mic setting is really bad. I need to figure it out. Because like
Weird flex, but my mic is actually super expensive.
Oh. Okay.
Weird flex, sorry. Weird
I
flex.
think UD's is also. I think maybe Ven's is also because they were the last two guests on the previous one, right?
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Like all of you have your mics like somewhere up there or like far away, and if I don't talk like that, I don't think I can be heard. So that's an interesting topic to start on. Okay. All right, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Hi.
All right, so this is IslandXD. Do you want to do an intro, or do you want me to intro you, or you can do it?
I can do it. Yeah. Okay, hi, everybody. My name is Island. Some of you from my community already know. Some of you from MG's community might know, but I play Genshin and I play Honkai. I do a lot of story stuff, like play through the storyline that they update and then make theory videos and lore videos. That's who I am. I'm also Korean, if you're wondering.
All right. Okay. And also to Island's community, I'm MG. I mainly do Honkai. I only stream Genshin, but very casually. I don't really use Genshin for much content, if I ever. But I do play it a lot, and I am very interested in the main storyline, but like I'm not super like geeky on Genshin story. Like a lot of the world quests I just don't read. I'm like, just get it over with.
All right. Yeah, because some of them are super long.
Yeah. I'm like, the main story already takes up so much time, you know. So yeah, but it's interesting to watch your like theories and stuff. It's also like very rewarding if like you theorize about something and it turns out being true, I guess.
With that said, every night I have this like monster. It feels like there's a monster chasing me because I have like, you know, quite a bit of theory videos out now, and the monster is essentially it telling me that I was wrong, and it's always constantly chasing me like you're wrong, and then you don't know until you get more information, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've only done one theory. Okay, wait, someone's saying your audio and video not in sync. It is for me though. Oh, it really isn't.
Oh, that's weird. It's not. Is there a way to fix it?
I have no idea. I honestly have no idea. Anyone knows how to fix audio video sync for this?
Oh, is my camera on OBS?
Yeah. Is it? Yeah, I mean like
which one's faster?
The
audio or the picture? Can you tell?
The picture.
Then right click on my thingy on OBS and then go to filter and add a delay.
Okay, that's cool. Hang on, let me just troubleshooting, guys. All right, filters. Wait, filters?
Yeah, it should be filters.
Filters is like for video stuff, like chroma key.
Yeah. It should be, let me check.
Really?
It should be in there.
Properties? No, it's not properties.
Let me check.
Welcome to Scuff Stream.
Yeah, filters. And then there's an audio filters at the bottom. There's another box that says effect filter.
Oh no. I think my OBS is so weak that it doesn't even have... Oh, wait, okay, there. Yeah, it doesn't have it.
Yeah, and then it should be render delay. It doesn't have render delay.
I probably didn't update my OBS. It's at 24.0.3. What version are you using?
26.
Oh, well, live and learn. I'll update it later.
Well, how do we fix this?
Yeah, I guess for now it's fine. Oh, see Codlo in the chat. Hello.
Hi, Cod.
Another Honkai content creator. Let's see.
Yo, you know, the way to fix this is if I put my hand over my mouth so that you won't be able to tell.
Oh yeah, that's true. You know what? It's fine.
And then I just talk like this the whole time.
Maybe I should put a delay on mine, and then everything will be out of sync. That's the way we go. And then we change it to the Out of Sync podcast. Oh, that's a new brand. That's good branding. Okay.
Just everything.
Yeah. If you're on sync, you're not on the podcast until you're out of sync. Oh well. Yeah. So. Oh yeah, Zconla had it, and it was on the official SEA stream, which was really funny because hers wasn't even lag. It was hers wasn't even like an off sync. It was super lag. It was like, you know, like I don't know, PowerPoint presentation frames of lag kind of a thing. Anyway, yeah. So as far as theories go, I've only made one video, but it was unfortunate timing because it was on APHO. I don't know if you've played that game mode yet.
Yeah. I played like the first.
Yeah.
chapters.
Oh, yeah. So like there were a lot of wait, what? I didn't touch my open world. Okay, that's anyway. Yeah. So I kind of like made a few theories because like I was finding out a lot about a lot of new stuff in the lore at that point in time, which were old news, but I was only like starting to read more at that time because the story of APHO was very interesting and it was like a time skip, right? It's a time skip. So I was like, oh, let me read more into it. And it's really, I think there's like two things which I think you probably face when you do theory videos, especially like on lore, because I'm going to start doing main lore videos for Honkai.
Yeah.
And I think even some of the non-lore videos already give me this kind of it's like when you're about to post a video, you keep wondering like, oh, was there anything that I got wrong, or like did I miss out something?
All the time.
Right? And then like
all the time.
and then like you're like, no, okay, let me check again. Maybe I don't have to post it now. And then you check it and you're like, no, it's fine. And then you post it and the first comment you see is like, no, this point was like A instead of B, and you said B. Yeah.
The thing I noticed, it's the Honkai community. They're so, how do I put it? They're so passionate about the lore because it's been out for a while now and everybody like really dives in, right? So once they get like a small smidgen feeling of something being off, they just attack. Like, no.
Oh, ouch.
I noticed. Genshin, it's not like that because nobody knows anything.
That is true.
But Honkai, everybody knows everything.
You know, you probably won't face that once you're caught up. Yeah. Once you're caught up and you're like theorizing on things that people also don't know, maybe a little bit like maybe people who think they know the lore very, very well would like try to nitpick a little bit, but they still don't have the facts, right? Because like nobody would have it. Right now you're like chapter 11, so there's so many more chapters.
That's why, even though I've already kind of brainstormed several things that even though I'm only in chapter 11, I still, I brainstorm all the time when I'm playing and stuff. But I could never come to making a theory video or a lore video on Honkai just yet because it feels like I'm a newbie, right? So
kinda, yeah.
Most likely I don't know everything, but most definitely I don't know everything, and I don't want to make a video on it because, my information is obviously going to be wrong, right?
But it's also like I that's one of the things that, interestingly enough, I did think of like talking about, because it's also interesting to see a person's point of view when they don't have that further information, because it's like it can point to something else that people miss out because we have that information already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's like, oh, we might have had different theories that would have led to something that would be right, just it's not revealed in a later chapter, because now we're at like 25, so like maybe 26 would have something that you with fresh eyes without like the information past chapter 11 would see that like people who have that information would not see, because like they already have the canon storyline that blinds them from everything else. So like I am interested to see, like, maybe you could do like a journal, like a diary kind of thing of like you coin all, you like write down all your thoughts on like, oh, at this point what did I think, at this point what did I think, and once you're like caught up with everyone else, then you just do a video on it if there's something there, and then release it of like, oh, this was what I thought would happen, but this is what happened in chapter like 13.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right? Like,
that's a good idea.
Yeah. That I do think, say something depressing, no spoilers. What?
How do you do that? Well,
what? So what? I don't. I mean, there's already a few depressing moments in the story already. Wendy's. I saw your stream on like when Wendy was killed off in the story. I had the same reaction back then of like, that's it. Like, it's that's it. Just Kokolia saying something and she's dead. That we have to accept that, Yeah. Okay, theory time, right? Because like this is something that happened in the past. Do you think there's a possibility that Kokolia kind of like gaslighted them into be like, I killed her, but maybe she didn't. I don't.
Here's my take on a lot of these things in anything, gaming, movies, anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only time, this is my belief, obviously, chat, I'm only up to chapter 11. There's a lot of stuff I don't know that you know. Okay. But this is just my belief, not only about Honkai, but anything in general, in movies, media, and things like that. If a character doesn't die on screen, literally, they close their eyes, and you hear the beep sound, right?
Uh-huh.
If that doesn't happen, they're still alive in my mind. It's just, I'm thinking they just, disappear for however long, whenever the company decides to bring them back. That's my mentality, not only for games, but movies as well, right? So, as far as I know, up to chapter 11, obviously, don't spoil me, chat, please, but Wendy is quote-unquote dead. Himeko is quote-unquote dead. Fuha is also quote-unquote dead. In my mind, though, I'm like, I never saw them die on screen. So I'm just like, please, I know they're alive. Like, part of me is like, please bring them back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know they're not dead. Come on, like, yeah. That's how I feel.
I do think that that's a possibility, because like, okay, let's go a bit meta here, right? Because like, from a story writing standpoint, if someday this character becomes useful to the plot, you have the chance of like, let's retcon this and say like, oh, Kokolia just tricked them to like, you know, and then like, well, here's Wendy. we never know. Yeah.
Another thing is though, when I know that when companies write their stories, I feel like majority of the time they don't kill them off on screen just for that purpose, that in the future, if there is a situation like that, they bring him back and the community is just like mind blown, like, oh my god, she's alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a plot trigger. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
I mean, there's a few characters that I really hope to see in the main storyline. In some way. Maybe I would even accept some of them being like, oh, here's not like Cecilia, right? Because I'm a huge fan of Cecilia, and from your playthrough, you seem to like the character quite a bit. And I was like, if we had something like, here's like someone who, I like a memory of.
I feel like you're trying so hard.
No, there's no spoilers with Cecilia, okay. But there are things about like, have you heard of the bubble universes?
Yes, I just got to that.
Okay, then that's the spoiler I was avoiding. But chapter 11, right? Okay, so like, if there was like a bubble universe version of Cecilia, right? Like some other universe Cecilia that came over, that's something I would like to see a lot. But there's no other spoilers about Cecilia. Like, all we see of her is all you've seen as well. She doesn't appear in any other chapter, as far as we know.
So far.
Yeah, so far. Even till the
far.
latest chapter, so no spoilers involved in that.
But like I said, every character that died so far in my playthrough, I am very hopeful that MiHoYo will bring him back just for the sake of hype, and I'll be like very happy.
Yeah. Any character that died. Wait, how many deaths have you seen?
only-
Fuha. Oh, but I mean Cecilia's beyond the current because we never saw her death. It's like
Yeah.
And also the way she died though. Okay. Theory time maybe, but like also the way she died. You know how like a lot of movies and anime have like she was in the tower when it was hit by a bomb.
Yeah.
Maybe?
You don't see as I said, you don't see them dead on the screen. They're somewhere in this world.
Himekopium now. Oh my god. Yeah, but like with the title of the stream, right? Because like everyone, and it's really nice to hear your fresh point of view of like being at chapter 11. That is every player up till many chapters of many updates of Himeko. Yeah. We want to see Himeko. We didn't see Himeko die. There's this faction of people saying like Himeko died. There's this faction of people saying like no, she didn't die. Like you know.
Yeah, it's it's like yes, I am in denial. I can say that. I am in denial, but at the same time, people don't understand. I don't trust any character in any of these games of what they say, because at least in Genshin it's MiHoYo game. Genshin and Honkai. I don't believe anybody, even if they come out and say like it's I don't know manga they confirmed or like in the game they confirmed that they're dead. But who's to say that I should believe them?
Right.
Do you have proof that they're dead? You're telling me, sure, but why should I believe you? Give me proof.
That is true. Like I always had that mindset also. Like even if it's a flashback. But if it's a death scene, because sometimes it really depends on the context of the flashback also. You know, some flashbacks are like, it's a memory. Like, they recall it from this part of the story. Like, there's a storyline to the flashback. And then like, okay, I'm remembering exactly what happened. Okay, then they show the death. And I'm like, okay, that one I can accept. Because it's like we're seeing it in real time, but it happened some time ago. But if it's, you know how there's also flashbacks that are interpretations of a memory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
who's to say their memories are correct?
Exactly. Sometimes they just have an image to show to like illustrate what happened. But is that exactly what happened? Nobody knows yet. So
I need proof. I need them in a coffin being buried, and then I'll be like, okay, this character is dead. Then that's proof for me. Otherwise, I don't know. I can't believe anybody. Everybody's so suspicious.
Chat's just going, Well, coffin. I mean,
call hotel. We need a check. We need a list.
I mean,
of who's actually dead.
Yeah. Sometimes you do need one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so like I mean, there's so many things I want to talk about and get to. One of the funny things also is like, what do you think? It's a little off topic. Oh, maybe we're still on topic. Like, what do you think about the name of the Raiden Shogun? Now that you've also played Honkai, you know what her name is, right?
May.
It's A.
Yeah. I've seen that. Yeah. Raiden.
Raiden A. Like everyone pulling for her will be like, "Hey, we got her! A.
Hey.
What? I was just calling her name.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Raiden A. Yeah. It's so funny because everyone's going like, Iana, Kaslana, Himeko, Murata, Himeko, Ronya. When they start reviewing them in like the Cryo Archon, because like some people are like, oh, Cryo Archon gonna be, because you know they're saying like some of the Archons gonna take up the looks of some of the Honkai characters, just as speculation, right? And then they're like, Cryo Archon gonna be Bronya, and now we can meme on it like it's gonna be Ronya, and like all the lacking of like Yae Akura, because they also.
I mean, The Pyro Archon's gonna be Imiko.
right?
Imiko.
Imeko.
Imiko.
And then you had the lack of the O when you were playing it. Imek. Imek is the name. We're calling it. Predictions now. Imek. Wendy Venti.
Oh, that would be a terrible name. That would be such a bad name. Imek.
Oh my god.
But okay. So Raiden Shogun, Raiden A.
Do you have theories on the name?
Not honestly, no, because I don't feel like it's something that I think they just did it because it's just they copy and paste.
It's a meme.
They copy. This is what I realized after playing both games and like really paying attention to the story so far. Anyway, I feel like there is, if there is any connection between the two games, it's obviously going to be in a bubble universe. I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
But the correlation, I think, in terms of how the story progresses, is similar because they're bubble universes. But as far as like the names being similar, the characters looking similar, because they're two different games, I think they just copied and pasted, and there was like, okay, let's copy and paste it, and then forge its own story in this world called Genshin Impact, and that's really it.
Okay.
But you know how the story of Inazuma goes and revolves around Raiden Shogun. It obviously has many similarities to Raiden Mei.
I can see some chapters where you'll be theorizing on stuff. Put a pin in all that. And then once you're caught up, go back to those that didn't get touched even when you're caught up, and then do those because that will be nice. So people are saying like, so this was something I wanted to point out, but while you were talking, I saw it in chat as well. So Gabby Shaded, it says A has kanji for shadow, which is something that I noticed when I can't remember who I was talking to, and then we pulled up all the different languages of except for Korean because I don't understand Korean, but I understand English, Japanese, and Mandarin, right? So like in Mandarin, her name is Ying, which also is written as shadow. And then like with Japanese, because it's like flexible, the way they like you know, you can like write a kanji, but you can like railgun in the anime. It's like you can just like put whatever. So there's that. And then like some people are saying like, oh, they call it A because like eternity, because it's also really funny because when I was watching the Japanese trailer, like after Yae says like A whatever, and then the next word after Yae's sentence is A, and which means eternity. I was like, wait, is that what they're going for instead of like memeing on Mei, or is it like a coincidence? It's so mind-blowing.
I think it's done deliberately. And here's the thing about Genshin, at least from what I know from researching ever since I started playing, every single thing that's in the game, whether it's a name or a word or an item, they're never just connected to one thing. They're always connected to 2 or 3 extra things that you just never think about until you get proof. Like for instance, like you know how they tease that obviously Ganyu's a Chilin, right, in Genshin Impact, and how they tease that she was connected to Yae, right? But in one of my videos where I talked about Ganyu, all I had information was like the Chilin aspect and how the Chilin represents the story so far in the game. But then later you get this information from the developer saying Yae is connected to Ganyu in some way in the game, and I was like, okay, how? Chilin is apparently connected to the other thing that Yae is connected to, the mythological
Fox?
No, the god, the statue, the god. They call it Thousand Eye.
Is it the goddess of mercy? What's the Chinese name? Guanyin? Does that ring any bell?
I think so. Yeah. That thing. Apparently, that's connected to Chilin in the mythological world of the history of that king in the real world. So I'm like, oh, so now we get this extra information. Obviously, Chilin is connected to that. So this is like we didn't see, but if you really think about it, these small things, they think about it like months in advance, already connected to something else. And I'm just like, oh, like this is too much. But the point is, everything that we find about a character or anything like the history of how they made it, it's like not just one thing but multiple things that they're connected to. It's just a matter of finding the clues, I guess.
That is very interesting. That is very interesting because that goddess is also both worship like in Chinese religion but also in Japanese religion.
A lot of Asian.
Yeah,
a lot of Asian.
So it's like, wow, they're just drawing so many connections. And it's also interesting because like Yae is from Inazuma and then like Ganyu is from Lier. So it's like also kind of there's some kind of link there that they're using.
Yeah, they're bridging everything. Like another thing that I still don't know the answer to. You remember like way back when on top of the Storm Terror Tower, we find out there's a Ruin Guard, the first Ruin Guard or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But then there's a core. Now that core is related to Inazuma as well because it's from like the technology of Kanria, and then that core is also related to the tomb of the Chi Dragon in Shinsu Village. So it's like, you know, when you first play the game, you go to Storm Terror and you see that Ruin Guard just sitting there staring at Celestia, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the very initial phase of the game, you have no idea why that's there. You don't even know if that's looking at Celestia because you don't care. But then later you go to the Chi Dragon's tomb and there's a bunch of Ruin Guards and like this big core looking thing. And then you go to Inazuma and now there's another core looking thing on the samurai boss. So it's like,
Ooh.
I'm telling you, everything is connected like months in advance. And like, it's all about these little connections that drives me crazy about the game in a sense.
Oh, wait. Someone's asking, have you finished Second Eruption? So do you read the manga?
I try my best to. I only read up to the, I guess, chapter 12 of the Second Eruption.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I read the very beginning of it. I think it's like 60 some chapters, right? The Second Eruption. Like 65 or 70.
That's the funny thing because I read it, but I didn't kind of take note of like what is under Second Eruption and what's not. I just like, oh, there's a story. Let's read.
Yeah. And I kind of forgot how chapter 12 ended too. But yeah, I read a little bit of it, at least the very beginning. It was pretty interesting. It was to the point where Siren gets she was trying to get like vacuumed up into this abyss that was made by what's his name? The Welt, I guess. And then as she was trying to get vacuumed up, the stupid clown shows up. We obviously know who that stupid clown is with the mask. And it's like, hey, stop, what you doing? And then it just turns out she, instead of getting sucked up into the vacuum, she gets on the dragon. I guess people call it Bella. And they orbit the Earth in the stratosphere, and then chapter 12 ends. That's all I know.
Yeah, okay.
This might be very, very too detailed, but yeah.
Okay, so at least we know where you're at. Maybe even more info than I have.
Well, it's basic thing is Searing she gets her powers and she fights Welt, and she was about to lose, but she was saved by Otto. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Alright, let me just do something here and see if I need to time out someone. What does that mean? Oh, okay. Never mind.
For those of you in chat, when I talk like this about the lore and stuff, my brain spins really fast. So sometimes when I say things, it makes no sense.
Oh yeah.
Because when I'm streaming, I can't break it down like I would do in my videos.
Yeah.
So if you're confused, I understand. It's just how I am. I'm sorry.
Because your brain is just throwing everything out, and then you need to process it. But before you process it, and if you talk about it before it's processed, that's what happens. Yeah. Same for me. I see. Here's the thing, right? Because what I'm doing is not gonna be so much what you do, because you already have an understanding, and then you can make a theory out of it. But for me, it's like I'm supposedly gonna tell a story, and I'm still figuring out like, oh, how am I? Because you know, like some parts are totally in the manga and not in the game. Yeah. And some parts are like, yeah. So So I felt like, oh, that's where that kind of video is going to have value, especially like for a new player, especially if they want to skip through all the story points so that they can advance faster, but they also want to know what the story is. And then that's going to be good because like it's something that I would have appreciated when I started playing. I played until chapter, I think here, Will of the Hesha, chapter 8. Right. And then I realized that I knew there was a manga, and then I realized that, wait, manga is that important? I didn't know. Yeah, until I got to chapter 9. And I was like almost first day player. I think I was like 2 weeks late after the release. Yeah, and SEA. SEA is like 1 year before Global. So it's like, oh, maybe new players especially, wouldn't know that, because in their mind, if they play just game story, they'll be like, it'd be nice if we got context, or it'd be nice if we could see this. But little did they know, we already get to see that. It's just in manga form. So I'm gonna try to like at least do. Maybe it probably wouldn't be like one chapter. It might be chapter 1 to 2 or chapter 1 to 3 in one video. So it's because time wise, it's not so much gameplay. It's just like, oh, here's the story here up until now. And I was talking to UD about that after the last podcast, and he was saying like, oh, it's such a Herculean task to do that, and it never struck me until he said that, because like he's like, I'm not gonna tackle that, so it's good that you're gonna do it. It's like, yeah, okay.
So that's why you threw that suggestion at me.
No. I'm gonna do it. But it's like,
you're gonna do it. Okay,
but it's different.
I tried something like that.
Really?
I tried.
You're scaring me even more now.
It's not hard, but it's just like organizing and getting the information in like this. When you make videos, you have a beginning and the end. You kind of picture what the beginning of the video, where it's gonna end, right? When you get all this information together, first of all, getting the information together is like the worst part, because there's just so much information. Because if you're putting in manga references in these chapters, which you probably should do, right, for the idea of like the backstory and stuff, it's just connecting it becomes a very, very long essay. And it becomes like 8,000 word essay, and when you try to record something like that, it ends up being like a 30-minute video. And I don't people do 30-minute videos, right?
Yeah.
But, in terms of YouTube side of things, it's difficult. Well, it takes a lot of time, if anything.
I mean, as long as it's not way off topic and it's still interesting, like it's also like, how much information do you want to put in there? Because if you miss out some points because you don't feel it's that integral to the story, comment section is going to rip you apart. And then if you do, it might make the video too long, and then they'll be like, what? It's also, why did you, that point's not so important, just why did you add it? And I'm like, I don't know.
You get two sides of the coin. You get two sides of the coin. The people that are asking, I mean, I agree. It's just no one's wrong, but there's a side of people where like, I can't believe you left that out. It would have been nice if you just kept everything in it so that it's a full picture, versus you obviously leave things out and people are okay with it. So like, it's just a matter of how it affects the algorithm in a sense, because there are people in this world who wants things short and condensed and quick to the point.
Yeah.
And there are people that want explanation of the whole thing. There are two types of viewers, and none of them are wrong. It's just a matter of, as a content creator, it's a matter of who do you want to target, because either way you go, there's always going to be somebody asking you to do it the other way, right?
Yeah.
And finding the balance, I guess it sucks. I mean, in a perfect world, you make 2 videos, one longer one and one shorter one, but
I have been thinking of doing stuff like, I cover the main story, and now that the point is to tackle the main story also. But I have been thinking of doing stuff like, I do the main story up until where we are, and then I leave it there, and then I do like episode Kiana, and we talk about like, just this video is all the points about Kiana, and then like episode Himeko, and then like, this is all about Himeko. So we pull out all the parts on this one character, and it's not like, if you're caught up with the story, you're good, kind of a thing. which
Oh my god, the sheer amount of information. Oh my, on a Kiana video?
oh no,
How are you gonna?
Kiana Part 1, Kiana Part 2, maybe Kiana
Oh
Part
man.
3. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I think you forgot who actually watches, which is mostly newer player. Yeah, so it's definitely focused on newer players, but here's the thing, right? I make like my overview, like I make overview videos, and it's not targeted at pro players because they're already like they already know all that information way before. It's mostly like back then. So there's context here. Back then, I know you're looking for this button, like the trial button, on some characters, right?
Yeah.
I don't have. I have all characters, so I don't have that button anymore. But but like so before that, you didn't. We didn't have that. So there were a lot. It was very hard to understand or see a character in action, specifically on that character, before before knowing like, oh, do I go for this banner? Do I all in on farming this character? Because even for the farmable battle suits, there's a good range of them, and it's a time commitment because you're halfway into their fragments. You don't want to give up, but then you find out like, oh, this character is bad. Oh no, let me farm someone else. So I was like, okay, let me just do that so people get an idea. And the target is never pro players because they know everything about, they know even more details than that video would add. And it's not because the video is not detailed, it's because it's too much information or too high level for a general audience to understand. So that's not added. But then we also have, surprisingly, I see certain names that I know to be pro players, like in the comments of like, they're usually nice because they understand where you're coming from, but they're like, this part might have been good to be in there, and that part. So it's like sometimes you'll be surprised, even older players, because I would watch if someone else was doing that series, I would watch it just as a recap, or just as a like, did this guy catch something that I didn't when I was like playing it? And then like as an old player, I'm bad because I didn't know that like in this guy's video. Like if UD does a lot of story, right? I see Kadwa in the chat. So like if they did that, I'm like, oh no, So you never know. There is a target audience set in mind, but like just on that topic, you never know. There lots of people would. You never know who's gonna like just pop by and be like, that was. So you try to make it informative, but also something that an older player would be like, that's an interesting point. I did not catch that. Is what goes through the mind of someone making videos like that. I guess not probably. I guess that's what goes through your mind when you do theories.
YouTube is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. not because like research or making or editing videos, but trying to understand the psychology behind people watching the video. It's like I learned so much like in terms of psychology, human psychology, rather than anything else ever since I started YouTube. And going back to what you were saying, it's like those, trying to target an audience, and then trying to understand that this video is for this particular audience, but then there's other people coming in that's saying, some people come in just to get a refreshment. Some people come in like older, like
to nitpick,
hardcore players, long-time players, right?
Yeah.
They come in to get either there's like 3 types, dude. The casuals that you're targeting, right? Or not casuals, the new people that you're targeting. The people that know a lot about the story that wants a recap, and then there are people that come in to see if you are right or wrong.
Yes, there's always people like that.
Yes, and these are like the psychological battle that you always have to do when you're doing like YouTube stuff, right? And that's just like, I go through that all the time when I'm trying to like make theory videos or lore videos. It's hard, and a lot of people don't see that, and I understand, but yeah, it's but my friend always said you can't satisfy everybody. You just have to target an audience, and then you just go from there. You just accept the other side of things.
That's something I told myself very early in the channel when I wasn't like taking it as seriously as now. Wait, some people are asking. There's a Captain Verse summary vid. Did you watch it? I don't think. I don't think even I've watched it. I probably haven't yet. Oh, I wanna. But I want. Captain Verse is something that when I get there, like I'll just tackle main story first, and then I want to touch on Captain Verse, and it's definitely something that I would like to discuss, like probably in a sense of like more collab-ish with you on like theories, because there's a lot that they're doing for it, and I think they're also taking advantage of the fact that not everyone takes it seriously, that they can do certain stuff behind the scenes, and then like when it's like a mind-blowing part of the story, everyone they're like, we actually had a good story behind this, you just didn't take it seriously,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what they're doing with that, because initially it wasn't super serious until they got to a certain battle scene, and I can show you because like it's a different universe anyway, so it's not really spoiler. Like, oh, why do I have her in this? Wait, okay, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is
Delta.
looks like.
Wait, where is it? There we go.
Oh, this is the character that everybody's been telling me.
Oh, really?
It's like a mixture of the two, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then they were like, yeah, it's not a spoiler, it's a Captain Verse thingy. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I actually, it's Captain Verse stuff. Yeah, this is amazing, dude. What the heck? It's my first time seeing it, by the way.
So UD has a set of clothing that came from this line that yeah, because like we were talking about, so apparently we were talking about like I offered to help him order the Kiana jacket, the Reborn jacket, which is I think you've seen it. I also have it, but I didn't wear it today. Where is it? This one. And then so I was showing, because I was buying stuff for myself, and I was showing him like screenshots of the online store, and I was like, wait, this is pretty cool, and he liked it so much, and he was like, oh wait, how much is that?
Wait, the real question is, does Teddy have one?
Terry, like in terms of like themed, clothing themed after her?
Yes.
Not that I know of yet. You know? I would like this. I would like this. I would like this one. This jacket looks nice. Also, I think you're the best person to ask this question. Do you think this jacket kind of reminds you of Albedo's jacket?
I think it's the design. I don't know about the color, but yeah, the design does a little bit.
It feels like, when I was looking at it, I was like, this almost looks like Albedo.
Yeah, it does a little bit. Yeah.
Just
Dude,
right?
Can I get one of these?
Yeah, right. I would love one of these. We should just.
But they don't. They don't sell it though.
No,
right?
they don't.
Sell it.
As far as I know, they don't. They had a Hyasha of the Void themed one. The shoe was hilarious. The shoe was super hilarious. Imagine the you know the crystals, the orange crystals that we have in one of the mountains that has one of the adepti, the crane adeptus. You know there's like the celestial crystals. We can build that. We can put that in our Serenity pot in Genshin.
The big slime looking thing.
Yeah.
The orange slime. Oh, Core Lapis.
I don't remember.
It's a big.
Yeah, but the bigger one.
Are you talking about the big orange?
Yeah.
Thing that
So you can
people
destroy
get
them,
in?
and then like sometimes there's like even wild boar in it.
Amber.
So the amber. So they had like shoes with like super huge bulging like orangish stuff at the bottom. And I was like, why are they releasing stuff like that? And they themed a range after like certain other battle suits, which did look pretty cool. But yeah, I think they've done a range after the Hesh of Reason. But no, none. This one is not available, and it's also funny how it kind of. And this one is just, I know there's no relation, but it's also funny how she has like leaves at the pocket, because Albedo is also about like alchemy and growing life. It's like,
wait, so these outfits, I guess in a sense the Captain Verse outfits,
Yes,
right?
this is a Captain
Essentially.
Verse outfit.
Do they? So the story behind these outfits are just associated with the Captain Verse, and that's why they have
Yeah, it's very random. It's like in the Captain Verse, she's a superstar or something, and this is like her like performance outfit. So it's totally unlinked at all. Did you almost hit like, oh no, Albedo's sister, Albedo apocalypse.
Well, no, I'm more interested in the idea that I want this jacket, but I can't get it.
You know what we should do? We should pull up a few designs and get someone to custom make them and sell them as merch on our channels.
Yeah, but oh my god, I would love to, but oh my god, that'd be so expensive.
It would be super expensive. Wait.
Only if I knew how to make them myself.
Yeah, if we knew how to design it, it wouldn't be expensive. Probably. Because we can just do the design and get someone to manufacture. I don't know. That should be, we should, oh my god. That's an idea. Put a pin in that.
I'm disappointed. I am so disappointed that this jacket is not for sale.
Well, okay. Wait, do you like? I did say that once. Like, if Albedo's jacket is for sale, I would buy it. But this one is also really nice.
So buy Albedo's jacket and pretend that it's Teddy's jacket.
If they even have it.
I know, right? They probably don't even have it.
All right. Wait, yeah. Well, wait, where were we on the? Oh, right, we're talking about the Captain Verse and like how, with the Captain, like with her introduction, the Captain Verse became more. It took a more serious note, I feel.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely something that they kind of like introduce, like, oh, there's this villain in the shadows, there's this big bad, or like big boss at least in the shadows. And it's very interesting how, like, because how I first saw the Captain Verse was that they were trying to make it more meta, like fourth wall breaking, inclusion of the players, kind of like, oh, Captain, like, oh, you're part of the story kind of a thing. But yeah, when we got to like Delta's chapter, it felt more like, oh, they're trying to build a different universe here that is linked with all the Captain Verse storylines, or like events, chapters, whatever we can call it when we
I think that's pretty cool. It's just it's cool because it has no correlation with the main story.
Yeah,
it's like a different story
but it's like parodying the main story kind of a thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Wait, did they? Okay, people are saying this is the one we have on screen right now is the one that changed the tone of the Captain Verse. But was that the chapter with the big bad, or was it Delta that kind of introduced it? Because Delta was talking to someone like via comms or something, and she was like, and that someone was like, kind of like the tone of like, oh, get the job done, and or like I should have sent someone else or something like that. Kind of a, oh, there's someone behind the scenes.
Oh my god, wait a minute. She's got constellation stars.
Yeah.
Oh. My brain. What? Why does Mihoyo just literally copy and paste everything just to confuse me with everything?
Wait.
It's so irritating.
Copy and paste it from who?
Just the idea of the stars and the outfits and stuff.
Oh.
Like, like it's just these little things. Constellation stars on her. What would you call it? The little weapon and her.
I think it's more thematic though, because they do have themes. Probably. Like, okay, so there's a range of battle suits called the Godsbane's battle suits.
Yeah.
So like,
I think I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 4th generation Godsbane battle suit, and then like they do have similar themes of like there's the hip guard, and the torso mostly looks pretty similar. So anyone who has a Godsbane battle suit does have a similar look. So yeah, it's thematic of like, this one doesn't have the hip guard as much, but the torso is like, it shares similarity with certain other what else is a Godsbane? Shadow Knight is a Godsbane's battle suit. So if you look, like the hip guard is a little higher, Yeah, and then Vermilion Knight, which you have seen in the story as well, is also one. Where is Vermilion Knight?
God, look at all these characters.
Where is she?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So look at the hip guard. It's also
Yeah.
It's like, it's put differently, but they share the same theme of like, oh, this is the range of Godsbane battlesuits. It's very interesting. So sometimes it's not that they reuse it, it's that this belongs to the same range. Yeah, and we're showing you. Which also, then there's the theory of like, there's no coincidences. There's only strategically placed Easter eggs, I guess.
This is probably something that exists in Genshin that we just haven't paid attention to. Because if they did it here, who's to say they aren't already like preparing or already doing in Genshin? This is it's like a very good insight of like MiHoYo's like mentality. If they're doing this in Honkai,
that is true.
It's purposeful. Everything is purposeful. There's some kind of reason behind it, right? Even though these outfits have their own story and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
This one is also Godsbane, but it's like they introduce it as like first generation Godsbane battlesuit. So yeah, there's like a reason. I mean, okay, design wise, we all know the real reason, but lore wise, the reason is like, they're like, oh, because to facilitate the flow of Honkai energy, like they had to leave some parts uncovered in the first generation battlesuits because like they didn't know how to like facilitate the flow of Honkai energy. So that's why like yeah,
that's their excuse.
That's their excuse. That's their excuse. But then we see like the later generation Godsbane battlesuits that are Durandal you've seen in the story. She appeared in the Wheel of the right before the Wheel of the Harsha. So yeah, someone asked if it's safe to say. So this is my favorite character, by the way. Just in case no one in chat knows, everyone knows. This is also Godsbane's battlesuit. It's 4th generation. So like if you see like 4th generation are slightly different. They're like more, the design. It still keeps the theme of like, oh, this is you see it, it belongs to the same range of the Godsbane's battlesuit, right? Yeah. So,
that's cool.
And if I remember correctly, I don't think this is like explicitly talked about in the story, but mainly you get a lot of this from manga. I think there are manga that focus on some of the Godsbanes. They're called Godsbane because they're built to fight Hershas. So they're equipped on the Valkyrie to go up against a Hershas. So the Hershas are seen as gods, so they're like the bane of the gods. That's why they're called like Godsbane's battlesuit. Yeah, it's very interesting. There's like a whole range. I got that a lot because we talked about that. Sometimes we talk about it from a gameplay perspective, and I get people in chat asking, "What's a Godsbane's battlesuit?" I'm like, interesting. Not everyone actually understands the concept of a Godsbane's battlesuit. It's like, which is something that will also be interesting after I'm done with the main story to touch on. Maybe make a whole video on Godsbane's battlesuits alone, because it's supposed to be there's supposed to be so much information behind what they do, what they do in designing the battlesuits lore-wise. Of like, this battlesuit has this capability, that's why it reflects certain things. Like I think Night Moonbeam is supposed to have flight, so that's why she has like the wings or something like that. Or I don't remember. Yeah, and then Bright Knight on her release, they released like a whole document on the, as like a part of the event, a whole document on the Bright Knight Excelsis battlesuit of like how it's a combination of, I think, Night Moonbeam, Argent Knight, and Shadow Knight. So it was built, it took all the main powers of the different battlesuits to enable flight, to enable like, it's a high speed interception battlesuit or something like that. So all the Godsbanes have different specific uses of like, there's an assassination kind.
The amount that they're going for, like all these little things, it just still to this day astounds me.
Right? Yeah.
Like, just obviously they're gonna have to make a story behind it, make it somewhat relatable to the game, but like even the Captain verse and even this, it's like it's built from just so much foresight in a sense.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes. I remember one of the developer streams, they said that one character, one battlesuit, can take from 3 months to a year to develop.
Yeah.
So all of these, like, in the background, they're probably already developing, like, the next 5 battlesuits that we don't even know about.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, and it's so interesting how much they can weave into the current storyline. Ooh, that's interesting. Let's, report this person, or bot.
A bot has arrived.
Yeah. All right. Wait, they're all different
gone.
bots? Interesting. Oh. I don't know. They're different bots with the same name or something like that. Alright, we're done with that? Okay. So, yeah. I mean, wait, let me go to one of the chapters. You've played this already. I have difficulty remembering which chapter it was or which stage it was specifically. So,
For what?
so there is this one. Oh.
Oh, where all the
You know where she gets the battlesuit?
Where all the battlesuits are in the basement?
Yeah.
It's at the... yeah, it's here.
This one.
It's here. Yeah, I think.
Maybe the one
It might be
before.
the one after. Before. No, it's the one after.
Huh.
Wait. Yeah, it's the last one. It's the last one. I think.
Vermilion Knight has arrived in a blazing storm of iron and fire. I think it's... Wait, we get to play as her already. No. We didn't get to play as her. Oh no. Not this one.
It's one of these.
Oh my god, which one is it? She pushed forward through the darkness. I think it might be this one, right? Huh. Is it? It's called Hall of Sin? Oh no, it's not this one.
It's after this. Yeah, it's after this one.
Okay, so...
It should be.
Huh. No, then it might be before, right? Before that. Before that.
No, this is...
No, it's before. Because this one
Wait,
we don't
you're
get a
talking
chance
about
to
when
see
she
it.
wears it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn. I can't remember. It should be this one.
Maybe. Try.
Yeah. I think so. I think chat's got it. I think we defeat all the enemies here. And then we go in. And... yeah, and then we go into that room. Oh.
So those battlesuits that are in that room are like the things that essentially wasn't released when this was playable, or when this chapter was out.
So some of them are have not even been shown yet. We don't even know if they're gonna have them at all.
Oh, like even still?
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. Did I just waste my stamina, or are we gonna go to that room? There we go. Okay, we still have to fight.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, chat, during my stream, chat was telling me to like read into all this, but then I accidentally pressed the last battlesuit and the story progressed.
See, they said these are all 4th generation. And I've always been wondering, like, oh, we've hardly seen any 2nd or 3rd generation. So, like, Shadow Knight, we already have. And then Night Moonbeam. It's really interesting that Night Moonbeam is here. And then Violet Executor. And then some of them, maybe. Okay, so let's see the description of Shadow Knight, since we've already seen it. Shadow Knight Eclipse. High mobility specialized close quarter battlesuit. Classified. Currently
It's just like a small description of each battlesuit, I suppose.
So Night Moonbeam.
But then, so
long range
when this
hunter
chapter
killer.
released, this is the one with the Gundam gun, the laser gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one which you call Diablo 3 Wings. When when this chapter released,
these suits weren't obtainable in the game yet.
no,
right?
they were 3 of them.
Oh,
3
they
of
were.
them. Just Shadow Knight,
So just these three.
So that's why they have the models. So Blood Knight,
Oh, but then
Moonlight.
there's other slots.
Blood Knight, Moonlight, Exoskeleton, Honkai. Oh, so this is not called Blood Knight Moonlight. For us, it's called Violet Executor. But you know, so they have different names. So there's gonna be other interesting ones, I guess. Knight Extremist Osiris. I prototype general purpose battlesuit. I don't think we've seen it. Confiscated?
Oh.
Design defects identified. used to be Hunter Killer? Okay.
See, so okay, so all these ones without the models in it are like the ones that we have no clue what it is. Just descriptions
Yeah.
that are pretty.
I'm really hoping
It's
they release them and then we come back and like, oh, that was the one in there, you know?
probably it's what I like to call Mihoyo's sense of
Like,
spreading
Dark Knight Reaper,
breadcrumbs.
Stealth Infiltrator. That's like, the names sound too crazy, you know, like Warrior Knight. Okay, that one doesn't sound that good. Usagi is bunny, but
It's a rabbit.
yeah. Hybrid Drive. Like what's all that? Like
It's for
oh, target not found. Yeah, Amber needs one. Amber needs a battle suit. Project transfer to another lab. Target not found. Transfer to other labs. This one I think has. Oh, Argent Knight. Argent Knight was not released when this chapter was out.
Oh.
Yeah. Assignment classified. It's a Rita battlesuit. So the one Easter egg that we got early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
yeah.
the other ones are probably gonna happen.
Right. Hell Knight Ignis. Wow, this one sounds way too dank. Heavy firepower area denial battlesuit. This one sounds way too dank. I cannot wait. Hell Knight Ignis. And then that other one, Dark Knight Reaper. Oh my god. When Mihoyo? Hell Knight Ignis. Put a pin in that one.
How many?
I want to see that.
How long did they say they're gonna extend this game for? Didn't they say something like
Oh, they
that?
did say it has like another 3 or 4 years. Probably from now. Yeah, from now maybe 3 years. So 3 years, that's still a lot of battlesuits. Time to save up crystals. Another battlesuit for Dudu. See, chat's gonna have a lot of theories. Diluc battlesuit, sure. Diluc needs a battlesuit.
My god.
Chat's gonna have a lot of theories on like who all these battlesuits are for. Hell Knight and Dark Knight gonna be Rita battlesuits? Interesting. Zelie and Bronya Godsbane suit. Let's go. Dark Knight Reaper theory. Phantom Iron. Oh, so you're saying like it's another Violet Executor. Oh, Blood Knight Moonlight. Okay. Wait, was it always called that? I might have. Wait, it's 4th generation? I remember saying. Oh, wait. Okay, this is the 4th generation. Wait, no, this is the 1st generation. I remember Theresa saying that they can't have fabric on the shoulders or something.
Because of the Honkai.
Yeah, something like that. Like, I don't know, like to facilitate the flow of the energy. I don't know, man.
Suspicious lies. She just doesn't want shoulder pads.
This is the 1st gen. And then this one is the 4th gen. Okay. Check VE's dorm files? Dorm. Let's go to the dorm. Interesting. Man, there's so much we can touch on besides main story.
This game is every time I play this, well, every time I log into this game, I just like get overwhelmed still because it's so massive. Like there's so many things besides obviously the main story that has so much information. It's just like, oh my god, look at all this. What am I reading?
Oh wait, nobody knows when it was made, but it's specifically designed to improve her combat potential. Theresa was often seen wearing her sister habit. The origins of this battlesuit remains a mystery. Upper section of the armored skirt is constructed with heavy plating. The spikes on the skirt could eviscerate enemies. Oh, that's why she has an attack when she evades. When she evades, like her evasion can attack people. Yeah. When Theresa moves across the battlefield, she's like. Oh, okay. Objective for developing this battlesuit is to collect more combat data to manufacture Theresa's personal 4th generation Godspeed battlesuit, Blood Knight Moonlight. Moonlight is designed to activate the genes of the Honkai beast Vishnu within Theresa, allowing her to unleash. Wait, didn't you just touch on this part of the story?
I don't know. Did I?
You might have seen something about Theresa. Maybe not yet. Maybe soon. It's not too much of a spoiler.
There's something I did where she had something like, yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. It's like a point in the story where she used different battle suits for different powers. or something like
No,
that.
she said, "Oh yes, you did. Yes, he did. Yes." Chat
Yeah,
knows.
that's
Chat knows. Also, good job, chat, on not spoiling. I think your community is really good with you on not spoiling anything because I would
It's
imagine
because I literally drilled the crap out of them. I'm like,
spoil and you get banned right away.
yeah, every stream, every stream.
At the deep, yeah. So we've seen it already. They did talk about it.
Okay.
Of like, she has a lot of power unlocked, a lot of power locked behind, and that's really interesting, right? Because she has so much power locked behind. She has limiters on her, and she's already S rank. So like, or she was said to be S rank, and like, oh, the hand of justice.
You know, it was a joke. It's called, you know, Bronya that has the hand animation in the dialogues
Bronya.
when she throws up her hand, and we just kind of randomly started calling Bronya the Hersher of hands.
Wait, which
She just
one?
keeps doing this.
I suppose it's
No, just
Valkyrie Chariot.
every story, no matter what, it's just, you know how there's a dialogue and then they're just talking throughout the story.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And then they're just talking. She has an animation like some characters like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. I don't think I don't think I can
And
get
that
her to do it.
that right there, that she just did, we call it Ascension.
I don't think I can get the hand because you need it on like lower affection, where she'll be like, "Stop! Don't do that."
Oh
Yeah, but all my
She does that a lot in the story, yeah.
yeah. Oh, we can do this, but SEA is the only one that has like you can touch on different parts to activate like different interactions, but I think SEA is the only one that has it. They took it out after Vermilion Night. Yeah, Herrscher of the Void of Vermilion Night. One of them is the one that they took it out. Because like I think yeah, now it doesn't have like you only have the bubble. Yeah, but I think you need a lower interaction level, affection level for Bronya.
Well, I mean, the hand is like literally talk to the hand. Yo, I don't want to talk to you. Talk to the hand.
Oh wait, this one might have it. Oh yeah, this is only 1 star. Okay. Nope. I don't know how to activate it.
She does that in the story. Yeah, but it was just so funny. That's what we ended up using, like her hands when somebody's spoiling, and like my chat just spams the hand. I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So the Captain verse is something I'll probably touch up on once I catch up to the story. Cause here's the thing: there's so much information in this game, right?
Yeah.
And there's like so many different, like it's a Captain versus a complete different story, and like there's so many other things that are completely different. And my biggest goal is just to catch up to chapter 25 and then like start learning about the other things. It's gonna take forever. I know it will. At the rate I'm going.
Oh, the way they're doing the story also. Like, chapter 25 is what we have here, and then chapter 25 EX is in CN, because CN is always one version ahead.
Oh
yeah. When I was playing chapter 25 EX, it's like, you know how like you play one chapter, and then after you're done with the chapter, you need some time to like sit down and digest what you just read, right? And it's like, it was so mind-blowing. Like, what did we just see? For chapter 25, it was like every line, because I was translating it to my stream to whoever was like okay with spoilers, and then we were just playing through the story, and it's like I translated the line. I was like, before I even start translating, the moment I hear them say the line, I'm like, wait, what? And then I translate it, and then chat's like, what? And then we're all mind blown, and then like we go on to the next line, and it's like, whoa, mind-blowing information again. And it's like, it's not even a whole act that blows your mind. It's like every single line is blowing your mind. It's like, wow.
I can't wait.
It's like insane how like, yeah, it gets. You would think at this point in the story, we're so used to the concept of like, oh, we understand what's a Valkyrie now. We know what's a Honkai beast now. We've even seen like Hershas now. And then it's still so good. It's not like, it's not like they take something way out of left field. It's like they put so many Easter eggs or like little plot points that you're like, oh, I wish they would touch on it. And then when they do, it's
But they don't until later. It's like, man, Mihoyo does it so much. It irritates me. They leave little breadcrumbs, and then later you get like more information from the story, and then you pick up on the breadcrumbs. Like, oh, what?
Yeah.
What? 'Cause that's why it makes it feel like it's not straight out of the left field. It's like they've been hinting for like so long for so many little things.
Exactly.
We just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's so. It's I like the way they're like doing all these points. This is also a Captain Verse costume.
It looks sick.
Yeah.
She looks like I don't know why. She looks like
Oh,
a
she's.
race
I should. Yeah, she kind of does with like the decals, right? I should change her weapon
Yeah.
to make her look slightly cooler. Okay. All right. Cool looking weapon.
She looks like a race car.
She was holding umbrellas.
Hey, look at all the sponsorships.
Oh yeah. Now that you mention. And here's something interesting, right? Her original was this is like a Captain Verse. This is a Captain Verse, the original costume. And then in another chapter of the Captain Verse, this version appeared. But I don't know if they're supposed to be the same her, but the different, like she's just jumping from bubble universe to bubble universe. But then this one, I think they revealed to be the same one as this one. So it's so like she's part of the plot where I was saying like, oh, Delta's talking to like a higher up in terms of ranking, and like she's like in on it of like I think they're the same team or something like that. And it's just so mind-blowing of like, now that you mention also, she really does look like a race car with all the she's being sponsored by all of these random.
I'm sorry. Now you can't unsee.
Yep. Well, she does run really fast, so
It looks so cool. It actually looks really cool.
yeah, it looks insanely good. There was a bug also in the Chinese beta when she first released that this mask was the mask that you see on her head was way bigger and it was covering her entire face. So yeah, that and I was calling her Hilchel Yae because it looked like a Hilchel mask.
Oh my god.
We do get to see the mask on her though, because when she does her ulti, she equips it because her ulti is like you've used her, so you kind of understand. Her ulti is like she's in a different mode. So I think she kind of puts on the.
So she goes from a supercharged car to a turbocharged car.
Yeah, you know, there's something that also we don't always talk about of like Mihoyo's really small details to the battle suits when they are doing different modes. It's also something really interesting. So it also reinforces the theory of like, you know, they don't mind working on something and just placing it in there and having people not notice it entirely. It's like totally fine.
Yeah, they do that. They do that all the time.
Yeah.
And as a person who makes theories and stuff or trying to get fine hints, it's the biggest irritation ever.
But it's
in my
also
life.
like the best playground of like, imagine if there was nothing there compared to like there's so many things there. Yeah.
If they didn't do that, I can't make videos. It's actually.
Yeah. This one has no bearing on the story. Actually, it's just a very early released suit. I think this was at a point where they didn't really know where they wanted the game to go in terms of like story, so they're just releasing theme after theme, and then after these they set the foundation for a whole range of different costumes. Really interesting.
They come a long way. Now they're like masters at crafting things.
Yeah. They retcon some of the early story also, because when I was watching your playthrough, I was like, wait, some of these cutscenes did not look that way when we were playing them.
Oh yeah, that's what I was told.
Yeah.
Even yeah. Quite a bit.
Because
I wasn't.
Chapter 1, you see like Rita and like Fuhua on like the Celine, which is the battleship that we see, right? And then like initially all we had was, because they were unreleased characters at that point in time, so we only had like Kiana, Mei, and Bronya, which is why there's this scene, which, you know, this is like probably from the original where we didn't have them in the background, and then they took the art and they like put Arita and like Teresa, all that behind. We didn't have some of the, like these were not in here. The first two, the second and third were not in here. Yeah. So it's really interesting how like, I hope they don't. Yeah, this scene did not exist. She was not there. Rita was not there.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Fuhua was also not there. And I think Teresa was also not there. Because it was never canon that Teresa was on the ship. It was just May. Yeah.
So essentially, obviously when they first started making the game, they were a lot smaller company, and then later they're trying to they're trying to cover up some of their mistakes. Yo, do you know they did this in Genshin too, multiple times already?
Really? Okay.
Yes, not a lot of people realize this. It's I see it as them literally trying to cover up for their mistakes in the past, like this story. That's how I see it. Because
okay.
In the manga, a lot of people don't read the manga in Genshin Impact.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that.
There's a specific scene where Kaya is in the shot of one of the pages. Okay, here's the funny part. If anybody were to go read manga of Genshin Impact, there's two sources. One is the main website, and one is the webtoon website they uploaded way before they uploaded it to their main website.
Oh.
Right? If you go to the original, very first one on the webtoon site, Kaya he doesn't even have a vision on him.
Oh.
But then the upgraded version where they changed it, he has a vision. So it was like, okay, they're trying to make fix their mistakes. Okay, I see. It's so funny. There's so many instances like
Wait,
that.
do you then theorize? Okay, do you think it's an honest mistake, or do you then theorize that he doesn't need a vision? Jan.
I see it as a mistake, and then later they realize, okay, we gotta cover our butts. Let's add the vision back in it. Yeah, because the whole
there's something I've always been wanting to talk about also, like on the topic of visions and Genshin, which is I've always been interested to know how far the vision has, how close they have to keep the vision on them. I don't know if it's mentioned.
As far as I know, this is a speculation. It's not a fact. This is a speculation from a lot of people. To use the power of the vision, you have to have it exposed, so that other people can see that you have a vision. But this is just a speculation. There's nothing in the game that tells you that this is a fact. But this is just the community's way. If a character has a vision, they need to show it on the on the external aesthetics of the character to actually utilize the element. That's what people were saying. Now with that said, if that's true, right? I don't know about delusion, but that's for vision. If that's true, Senora doesn't have anything on their exterior.
Oh yeah.
As in, she obviously has the power.
Basically flexing. Well, if it's a requirement, you have to. Right?
Well, yeah, but that's what people are saying. But we don't know if it is a requirement. But if it is, and that means where is, Senora getting her pyro powers from? I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't look like she has a vision.
Wait, what? How did Diluc look like when he used the delusion? Because I know he used it. His father had a delusion.
He has it on his glove.
Oh, okay.
He has it on his glove.
So theoretically, delusions maybe also need to be used the same way as visions.
Yeah, but Senora doesn't have delusions either, or on the exterior.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so then I don't think it has to be exposed. I think it has to be close to the wielder.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
And then it's also how close, right?
So I read something hilarious. I was doing some research.
Sounds inconvenient. Sorry to cut you there. Sounds inconvenient. Imagine dropping your vision during battle.
Oh, then you're screwed. You got a fist fight. You got to fist fight it out.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sorry to cut you. Yeah, you're talking about.
I do a lot of research on Genshin from the community in Korea. Okay, Senora doesn't have a vision on her exterior, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people were just making a meme and a joke saying she has it in her eye, the eye that's covered, right?
Oh,
with her
what?
mask. And they were referring that to Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! do you know what I'm talking about?
I no.
It's like
Okay, I've
if
watched a bit
anybody's
of
seen
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
but like I'm not that like I didn't follow through on a lot.
the Pegasus is the character that has white hair, long white hair. It's like one of the biggest main boss in the
Oh
very
yeah,
early
yeah,
of
that yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
okay, I remember.
Yeah, and he has his eye covered with his hair, but inside it's not his real eye; it's the Millennium Eye.
Oh
And the
no!
people in the Korean community are like, okay, she has a vision inside her eyes, dude, because
Ah,
she never shows her eye. I'm like, oh my god, it's so funny.
that would be both interesting and kind of disgusting at the same time. Especially
But then again,
knowing the
I
vision
don't know.
sizes, because the sizes of the vision are so big.
Oh, they can be small. They can be any sizes.
Oh,
Some of the characters I like. Remember Lisa? Her vision is her necklace pendant. It's like super small.
I thought her vision is in her cleavage. Sure. Like how
Sure.
like how A can keep an entire sword in there, sure. Uh,
Oh my god.
are
People,
delusions like Hesha cores? No, no, no. They're like manufactured visions, right? Is what I heard. It's
Yeah.
like it's made in Chisnaya
mhm.
of how. Oh, I remember what I wanted to ask you now. Do you read all the books in Genshin? Like the books that we can pick up? Do you like go to inventory, open them up, and read them all?
Yeah, I read every single one except the new Inazuma. one.
Wow. Wow.
Now I don't remember everything verbatim because there's just so much.
Yeah,
right?
it's insane.
Yeah, but I do understand. I do know the information that are in it, especially the ones in Masa and Liyue. But if I need to recall, when I do research, I'm like, oh wait, I think I remembered something about this from one of the books, so I have to go back and refer to it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
Okay.
I read most of it.
Lisa is going to die. Do you have views on that? People keep saying like who's going to be the first death to turn Genshin into a dark mode like Honkai. And then like
I honestly
Lisa?
I honestly think it's Senora. I honestly think it's Senora.
But how would Senora have like a huge impact? Because she's supposed to be seen as a villain.
One of the biggest things, or I mean, I covered this in a video, but this is something I didn't cover in my video. Just like, in a very simple sense, she's evil in the terms of the story. Even though what she's doing may be right or wrong, nobody cares, nobody knows, right? But in the very easy scope of things, she's like the villain of the faction that's villainous, right? Now, there are 11 Harbingers. So far, there are 8 chapters outlined. Senora has been in 3 chapters. How is she gonna keep showing up when there's so many other Harbingers that wasn't even come and mentioned in the story? She's eventually either gonna take a backseat or die off, I feel like. Because she's been in 3 chapters, and if she's in the 4th chapter too, it's like, oh my god, when are they gonna ever have time to show other Harbingers? Like, you know what I mean?
I do, but in a weird sense, I kind of got that early death energy from Scaramouche instead. I can't really explain it, but the moment I saw that character, I was like, this guy probably gonna die here. Because like, I can't really explain it, right? Because also I don't know as too much of Genshin lore, past the main story, but he kind of feels like he's very reckless. Like he would do something off script that the Harbingers are not supposed to do. And then like he'll either like be hunted or he'll just misstep and someone will kill him. It's something like
I still feel like Scaramouche is like the younger brother of Friday.
oh, so like that's why he ran away.
I have nothing to back this up, but
Yeah, I mean
a
I
lot
have
of people
nothing to
just
back
think
what I
that's
set
fake.
up too, so we're just speculating. Yeah.
I feel like Scaramouche is the younger brother of Raiden, and Senora is gonna either die off or take a back seat, and then the Harbinger's story is gonna get pushed forward with the Scaramouche, and then it's gonna kind of like shift. Whether Senora dies or not, I don't know, but
Isn't the one of the hotter theories that Kazuha's gonna die because he's gonna try to showdown with Raiden?
yeah, that's a theory. I'm just kind of skeptical because I mean, he just released. He just showed up in the story.
But a lot of players seem to like him a lot, and you're like, oh, Kazuha, yes, Kazuha Sims went crazy on that.
I mean, Mihoyo done this before. They introduced a character
I've
and literally killed him off.
I've even seen speculation of like him activating the second vision, his friend's vision, and then he has like 2 visions during the fight.
Like a theory.
Yeah, people are like, oh, since he's holding on to it, like when he's fighting, and like because we don't like he has like super strong ambition and passion, like when he's like, especially when he's gonna do that kind of a fight against Raiden, and then like they're saying like, oh, they're theorizing something would ignite the second vision, and he would have like 2 elements, which is like,
well, his story outlines that he actually had, even like for a brief moment, activated both already in the past.
oh,
it was something I think the way it was his friend dies and he recovers his dead friend's vision and runs away, right? But during that battle of running away, apparently it ignited for like a very brief moment, and then it died again, the vision. So maybe, but highly unlikely.
that's gonna turn him into like, that's gonna give him like main character energy, because if that's what the delusions are supposed to be, then wouldn't the Saritsa want to like capture him for research? Like,
Maybe,
this guy, this is what we're trying to do. Now he has 2 elements. Also, we don't even know what his friend's element was. Does it say?
It was pyro.
Oh, wow! Imagine throwing your own pyro. You don't even need a team anymore.
It would be cool if the character has 2 visions that are active, but in terms of the story, I'm like, damn, they're giving Kazuha such a big role
Exactly,
already.
right?
He literally came out, so I don't know. And it's gonna die off. It's like, damn, you built this character for like 10 months, like in super secret mode that nobody finds out, and then you release and he's gonna die in like 2 months. I don't know.
Why is chat saying it was Electro? I heard it was Electro, but I don't know. I heard it was Electro when they had.
Oh, it could have been.
I don't.
Because all I know is that his hand was burnt by it.
Oh.
That's why I assumed Pyro. But it could be Electro, I guess. You could technically get a burn from Electro.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It probably was Electro because it was probably in the trailers.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah.
Wait.
It's a bot.
All these bots are different? I report one of them, and that message disappears, and then the other... Okay, we got them all. We got him, boys!
Let's go.
Your theory video was really well done. Oh, that's the island. And it was nice to know I'm not the only one who saw the similarities between Senora and a flame moth.
Yo, I have something to say about that, actually.
Oh! Spill some tea!
Yo, like, when I did the research during it, obviously, the video... Thank you for liking the video, by the way. I appreciate that. The flame moth, when I inserted that flame moth, the fire moth section of Honkai at the end, I was so scared, dude. Like, because I was like so scared not to step on the toes of the Honkai community that, like, because, I don't know the entirety of the story of Fire Moth because apparently in chapter 25 it explained it a little bit further or something.
Most people
but
don't
I'm not
either
there yet.
because it's still pretty new. So no. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so like I was like, oh my gosh, I really hope that nobody like gets on my butt, like me trying to connect the 2 worlds, because apparently some people in the community don't like to associate Honkai with Genshin whatsoever.
Huh.
That's why.
Is that more from the Genshin side?
I think it's more. I don't know. This is what I heard. I haven't seen somebody come up to me and say, "Stop trying to correlate 2 games" or anything. But I heard that some hardcore Honkai fans don't like to be associated with Genshin.
Huh.
I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told. And when I was making the video, I was like super scared. I'm like, I just want to make better theories. That's why I'm playing Honkai in the first place. Like, don't yell at me, please.
I wouldn't be too concerned about it, I feel. So some people are saying Genshin, some people are saying Honkai. I guess it's both.
Yeah, I guess it's both. The whole reason why I even started playing Honkai in the first place was because literally I felt like there was a limit because of my theory videos, because Honkai, it takes so much from Honkai.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I should try to play both and understand both games because it's from the same company and there's so many correlations. That's why I started, and it's been amazing. But because on the both sides, they don't like to be associated with whatever game that they're not playing. I'm like, please don't yell at me.
Oh, I understand that now. Yeah. So I was talking about this with Fen, who was on the previous podcast. I think I don't know if we covered it on the previous podcast, but it's kind of like they were talking about like sometimes it's a fear of missing out, like because what if there's canonic links between the two but we don't play Honkai. Yeah, so like they don't want to feel left out, so they try to deny yeah. That's what I heard, so that's why I like my first reaction was like, oh, maybe it's a Genshin side, but also because it kind of like I've seen on like the bigger some like really huge like the Genshin streamers communities talking about like, oh, did you hear that we're just a bubble universe in Honkai's so it kind of like minimizes Teyvat and being like, oh, Honkai, is the big sister now, kind of a thing. I feel like that's if there was any negativity, that would probably be where it came from. But I mean, I play both.
I can see that.
Yeah, I play both, so I don't care. Like it.
I mean, it's realistically on the business side of things. That's MiHoYo's plan to force people to play both.
True.
In a sense, and they want to connect the two universes. So you're like, if you don't want to miss out, you have to play the other game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was also something really funny because when they were developing Genshin, there was news of MiHoYo developing a really huge game. And everyone was speculating that it was Honkai Impact 4. And then the first screenshot came out of them using the Traveler. I think it was the Traveler to run around, and he was holding a sword. And they're like, wait, male characters? And everyone's mind was so blown. And and they're like, but the setting, because Honkai is very like the world of Honkai is very technologically advanced. So they're like, oh, but the setting is really old, so it can't be Honkai 4. And then some people jumped to the theory of like, is it a prequel? Is it talking about like in ancient times? And it turned out to be Genshin. So yeah, but the fact might remain that there could still be links because I don't know, maybe there were like subtle hints of the new game being linked to Honkai, I guess. Could be where people got the idea from. Genshin was supposed to be HI4. HI4 was scrapped. They decided to make a new game. I don't remember seeing that news though. I remember they said...
Didn't they already copyright it? From what I know.
Yeah, but that was... So I heard that like there is a possibility of a Honkai 4, but it was planned to be way further in the future. So it was never really planned to be like... As far as I know, never really planned to be Genshin. Genshin was supposed to be Genshin all along.
Yeah, the 4th is probably after Genshin story wraps up. Or close to ending, I feel like.
Genshin story wraps up though.
Like, Honkai is gonna wrap up in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
That's what they said anyway. And Genshin stories is probably gonna wrap up in the next 7 years. 8 years.
I heard there's a 4-year plan for all the 7 continents. I don't really know. That sounds too fast.
It's a lot longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just got into Zuma. It's been a year.
I don't know. Maybe because we used to get a Hasha once every year, and then like in the past, and then we got 2 in a year. So it's like, are they ramping up certain parts of their plan? We don't know.
But the question is, what happens when Genshin ends? Obviously, they're gonna make a new game that obviously relates to both because it was so successful.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there are many mobile games that are past 10 years old. So.
Oh, I did not know. Well, wait, mobile gacha games?
Yeah.
Huh.
Have you heard of the game Brave Frontier?
I have not. Dude, this is my... Genshin Impact was my first gacha game ever.
That was my first gacha game, Brave Frontier. It is the craziest. FGO is 10 years old. Okay, but FGO is kind of different because it's drawing from an anime. So, like, and we've known that anime to like re pump out like different versions of the same story, right? Like there's like Fate Stay Night, there's like Fate there's Unlimited Blade Works, there's like so many it's
I don't even pay attention anymore. It's just like I don't even know.
FGO is 6 years. Okay. Brave Frontier for sure. It's wait. Brave Frontier is 2013. Oh, so it's only 8 years. Only.
In the gaming industry only.
Okay. I mean, okay, so it's like Brave Frontier is 8 years. That's pretty insane. I remember playing Brave Frontier. I don't know if I played it on launch or like a lot later, maybe. But I know in the early stages they were talking about the four gods, and the first one we encounter is Maxwell. So that's like the first big boss, and then there are 4 gods. Then that's supposed to be the main story, and I was like, they're hyping this up so much. I wonder if there's anything beyond that. And true enough, when the main storyline ended, it was really well done up till that part of like the 4 gods and stuff like that. And after that, it was kind of got to a point where it felt like they didn't really know where they wanted this to go, or it felt like the tone of the story changed so much that we couldn't really relate, even though it's the same game.
How big was that company?
I don't remember. They're still ongoing, and they still have collabs with Fairy Tail, Guilty Gear. I don't remember what else. One Punch Man, I think. They're like crazy huge. Yeah.
Okay, so with that considered, the gacha mobile games, they have a long life. So, I mean, Honkai's been going on for what, 5 years?
5 in CN, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then they're adding 3 more years. That's 8.
Okay. We're getting there.
And then you take Genshin, 8 continents. We're gonna assume it's 8 years. Even longer maybe, but let's just say anywhere between 8 to 10, right? These games, their lifespan, at least from MiHoYo, is 8 to 10. So whenever this ends in 2027, I mean, they're gonna make another game probably. And I think, because this was my just honest opinion in the very beginning of everything that I've been doing now. I'm like, I have a feeling when Honkai ends, Genshin ends, they're gonna make a game that's related to both in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'll be just it's an IP that's just like sitting and collecting dust.
That is true.
So, I mean, they made so much money. Why wouldn't they, right?
Yeah. Like, they've recently closed GGZ's global server.
Yeah.
Which
I've heard about that.
Yeah, I asked people who played the game, how long has it been since the main story ended? And I think they said 3 years or 4 years, something like that. So it actually, like, it's interesting to know that even though the main story ends, we'll still get a game. We'll still get to play the same game that we've been playing, and they'll probably keep the server alive until, but it's also interesting to know that, wow, one day we'll maybe move on to a next game. That's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, these are all speculations, right? But I feel what actually super surprised me, because I didn't know anything about gacha games until I started playing Genshin, right? And
wow,
I wasn't sure how long these games lasted. And initially, because Genshin was so like popular in the very beginning, just like every other game, I thought it would die off because I never played gacha games before. I never knew how loyal these user bases were when they were invested in it, right? And then eventually I was like, this game probably might die, but it's really gonna debate on Inazuma. Like, if Inazuma comes out and they'll be able to like retain and bring players back, then it'll be super successful in the long run. If that happens and I see this game going 7-8 years, like very steadily, constantly making money, and I see the stats on Inazuma release, and even now it's just like, I'm so mind blown that this game is not dying. Like, how is this possible? Usually games with that kind of hype die immediately, but maybe because it's a gacha game, maybe their PR is good enough to, you know, just sustain. But I'm like, okay, Inazuma came out. Let's see. Oh my god, it's phenomenal. Everybody's invested. Everybody loves it. They're coming back. So that means statistically, this game has a lifespan that goes 7, 8, 9 years, like on a very steady basis, right?
Yeah.
That just means they're making a crap ton of money. And what are they gonna do with that money? Make a new game that's similar because it works. And now they have I would say MiHoYo is a household name on the Western market now.
Oh.
I would claim that as like, I don't know if you paid attention to the Twitch viewership numbers.
Oh yeah, that was insane. That's insane.
When they're doing a live stream, they have like 600,000 viewers, #1 on Twitch. And when they're just like right now, when there's no content, there's a consistent 15 to 20,000 viewers on that game.
Yeah.
And that's like on the first 2-3 rows, which is insane still, because I thought the game would die. But
I remember watching big streamers saying that they would never imagine someone could main a single player game. And like,
yeah,
and it's like, well, look at the Genshin streamers. It's a single player game, and when there's no
so
story, yeah, when there's no story, what do? They just run around and like collect resources, and still, you know, it's very interesting the content wise for Genshin.
The best part is these people playing, or now like myself, are playing Honkai, so they're gonna make way even more money.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you noticed lately they've been pushing out like Genshin and Honkai ads everywhere?
Yeah.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah. It's really funny how I tuned into a PGR stream on Twitch and it gave me a Genshin ad. And then one of my viewers told me they tuned into one of my Honkai videos and it gave them a PGR ad. And then and then like it's so funny how like we're seeing all these like, I don't know where I was going with that, but it's like, and then like I've been seeing Genshin ads on Genshin streams or Genshin videos.
Yeah.
And it's like, everywhere we go, even the games that have similar, in the same genre, I would say, are also getting hit by all these ads. But
did you know that MiHoYo is actually pushing Genshin and Honkai
Marvel.
ads on like things that don't even relate to gaming?
wow.
Like recently MiHoYo put a Genshin ad on a YouTube video, like YouTuber, content creator that does like movie stuff, like Marvel movie descriptions. You know how they do like insert like
Oh yeah.
Like,
Like sponsored, like this video is sponsored by MiHoYo, and then
Yeah.
like here's a 30-second shout out, things like that.
yeah. They started pushing it towards non-gaming channels, and like,
But
they have so first okay, they can do that because they have so much money.
Oh,
but
yeah.
it just shows that they're so hyper focused right now on like the advertisement campaign, and I feel like because they're doing that, there's actually it shows you that this game has like really long lifespan because they put so much effort and money into it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
because also like with the amount of money that Genshin made in its first year, I would imagine it could, even if they, which wouldn't happen, but like even if they stop making money there and then, they still have enough to pump out content for the next like 2 years. That amount of money is not even in the world of gacha games. I don't think many gacha games see that kind of return on investment. So yeah, I don't see Genshin dying anytime soon. And with what we know about, especially like just judging from Honkai story, what they have in Honkai, we can see that they have good story writers. We can see that they pay attention to the reaction of the community, of their players, and you know, it's not just story writing that's good, right? They have Hoyo Mix, which has been pumping out just
my god.
their music is so good, and they even stay true to the continent. Like, oh, it's Inazuma, so we get a Japanese orchestra to do it. You know, totally. It's so well done and so professional, and it's so respectful of the culture that they're building a country, building a continent in the game about. And they have good character designers. They're definitely PR wise. And I did this video. It's just a translation. They MiHoYo is working with the Chinese government to build schools, elementary schools in China, especially for rural areas, so that because those are like the least funded and they have very low tech. So I remember translating that and putting it up, and there's gonna be people who are the majority. Of course, the majority of the community is like, wow, that's heartwarming. But there's also and you can't blame people for having this perspective, but there's people who are like, oh, it's just good PR. But whether it's good PR or not, they're still helping people. You can't deny that. But to add on to like good character design, good music, good story, they also have good PR apparently. So they're covered all around. I don't see this game like
they're gonna be a big household name.
Yeah.
Going forward, I think, and
yeah.
I was so skeptical when I first started my channel because did you know that I wasn't even planning on playing Genshin in the very beginning?
Oh, were you?
Like the person who got me to play this game was my girlfriend, and she quit in like 2 weeks, and I was left by myself to play.
Oh my god!
And I didn't even care about the story in the beginning. I only got into it for some reason. I never cared about story for any game before, right?
Oh,
but then
interesting.
Long story short, yeah, I got hooked and I started making this YouTube stuff. But then, thought in my mind was, usually these kind of games they're hyped up for like maybe a year or two at the longest, and then they just die. And then I, as a content creator, needs to go to another game or jump ships essentially. So that's why I was like so skeptical, and I was like, I hope this game does well, but realistically, I don't think it will. But then they proved me wrong with their numbers and statistics and their advertisement campaign and everything for the past year and a half. So I'm sitting here like, dude, my content might just live and die with MiHoYo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if they're sustainable to that degree, that many years, I'm okay with that essentially, because they.
Oh, but
they made me
there is something that I've been wanting to do, and now that I talk to you guys, like other content creators, I think there is something that instead of doing by myself, it would be nice if it were a collaborative effort of like I've wanted to talk about. Because I might be one of the more, I guess, older time gacha gamers. I played a good number of gacha games, right? And so I've been wanting to do a video talking about, but I don't know if there's anything there at all to even make up a video, but of like Genshin impact, no pun intended, on the gacha game, or on the mobile game scene.
On the West?
No, just mobile game in general, because there's always been this mindset of like console gamers or PC gamers saying that mobile gamers aren't real gamers. They don't even have the right to call themselves a gamer, kind of a thing. But Genshin was the one that kind of bridged the non-mobile players, because when Genshin released and it was such a huge deal, you could see a lot of players who obviously didn't know what a gacha game was. One of them that I saw, and because he's totally gotten used to the scene now, so I don't mind. I try not to name content creators, especially in a negative light, but I don't think this is seeing him in a negative light. Like, I remember Mtash was one of them who was like, because him and many other content creators were having problems with like resin, things like that. And my point of view, and I remember talking about it on one of the streams because my chat mentioned it, I was like, nah, he just doesn't understand the concept of a gacha game. His issue is not with Genshin or with the way resin is done, is that resin is basically stamina, and every gacha game has it, and he just doesn't understand the concept. So like I was like, there's two things he's gonna do. One is he's gonna go back to his main game as a console game and like that, because he prefers that kind of a scene, or he's gonna understand, oh, this is what gacha games are. Maybe he's gonna pick up more gacha games and he's like, oh wait, this system is everywhere, and then he's gonna understand it, and then like he's gonna like continue and choose Genshin as a main game. And apparently he's chosen Genshin as the main game. So So yeah, that opened my eyes to like, this guy probably is credible. He probably knows what he's talking about. He just doesn't understand this concept. And to me, I was like, oh, how many more people are like that who have never seen a gacha game? And it's like, I mean, even for you, Genshin is probably your first gacha game.
Yeah.
So it's real interesting. And then we have like Enviosity, who's like proving that you can play it without having to spend. And I'm not for the same reasons. I just want to do it for fun, but I'm doing that with PGR where I'm taking it a step further. I'm not even pooling. I'm not topping up, but I'm also not pooling. I'm just like, let me just farm everything, just for the fun of it. And I feel more and more games are able to find that balance of, just play the game as it is. It's free to play, and just do it. It's free to play. So it's interesting to see, like, I feel gacha games are moving into a different scene entirely.
I think it's a new. I've been curious for a while what kind of, like, the gaming scene right now. But let's go back like 3 years.
Okay.
2018. Let's say 2018. During that time in gaming industry, there was already like 3-4 games that was just being repeated over and over, like a type of a game, like Battle Royale.
Yes.
Right? There was obviously MMOs, but they were kind of dying off at this point, except the 2-3 big ones, right? WoW and Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
But then the MMOs like WoW and Final Fantasy, they're phasing out, and all the MMOs games that are coming out are like not doing well, because I feel like the whole idea of MMO is slowly phasing out because everybody's so like short time span. Their mental time span is so short. That's why the Battle Royale came out. It's quick. You just play, and then you just win or lose. You go to the next one, right?
Yeah.
MOBA games were another thing where it's like you just play one match, go to the next one, right? That's essentially why, like, I was sitting here like, is there anything else? Like, this has been going, these 3-4 style of games are going on for like almost 6-7 years now. Like, is there gonna be anything else, right?
Do you think
it just so happens that, it just so happens that mobile came in and they started introducing gacha games. Like, it's not new. Gacha games been around, right? It's just never been exposed to this, like, the bigger general gaming audience, right? It's relatively still new to a lot of PC gamers, right? And I'm watching the whole thing. I'm like, okay, now mobile games are getting huge. It's actually scary. And gacha being one of mobile gaming, it's even more scary.
True.
And I feel like a lot of people, one of the bad things is it's great for gaming. We get more refreshing type of games, but the bad thing about it, I feel, is that people are not responsible with their money.
Yeah.
And the way gacha games are, they kind of like, I don't want to put it in a bad way, but they kind of target that and try to make you into a whale.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's not only gacha games that's the problem. There's been loot boxes for every other game before, like Counter-Strike had crap ton of money going around.
Look, even MMOs, which is something I've also wanted to talk about. MMOs have done that. You know how MMOs have like, get your weapon to like +11, and then from +11 to +12, there's like a 90% chance that it will explode during the upgrade.
Maple Story 1.
Yeah. Maple Story. There's one other game. Okay, so I've had friends. I've brought this up on multiple streams, but it's nothing new. I've had friends who have spent thousands. Oh, Rita. Okay, Rita. Okay, we get it. You're standing there. Okay. So I've had friends who have played Lineage 2, the mobile game.
Oh my god, I've heard horror stories.
And I had friends who spent like thousands. They can well afford it, but they spent thousands playing just 3 months in the game. And I was like, okay, you spent like 20K in 3 weeks. Are you like at least the top of the game or something? And my friend was like, no, he's the 5th in his class. And I was like, how many classes are there? I think the answer was 6 or something. So I said, at best, if he's the worst class, he's like number 30 in the game, and he spent 20K in 3 weeks. How much did number 1 spend? You know? And I was like, where's this money going to? And they're like, oh, you know, when you upgrade, you need this like insurance scroll that would prevent your weapon from exploding, and there's like this percentage chance of like upgrading. And I was like, what the heck? That's so MMO, because that's not in the realm of gacha anymore. That's in the realm of MMO. Yeah. MMOs do that. And I'm like, that is the worst monetization to me. As someone who plays gacha, and gacha didn't used to have guarantees, but now they do, which is like, I also said this before. In terms of like, see, S rank guaranteed in 51. So
I mean, if they didn't have that, it's a scam.
And no, see, older generation gacha games did not have that. The game that I was talking about, Brave Frontier, I think now they have separate banners. It used to be all the same banner. And when they have a new character come out, they're just like, we upgrade this character, but you're essentially pulling from a pool of like 500 characters, and you only want that one. And they're like, before they even started to balance it, there were teams built on 5 of the same character, and your friendless friend that you bring into combat as an assist also should be using that character. There are people who are like, if you're not this character on your friend list, I'm deleting you. And they had like 80 of the same people who had like, because they're gonna run it so many times. And imagine that, pulling from a pool of like, okay, when they balance it out, it wasn't 500 characters, maybe like a pool of like 200-300 characters, and you're trying to pull 5 of the same, and there's no guarantee, and it's crazy.
It's scary. But the problem stems from it's gambling in a sense.
It is. It is. Okay.
100%,
no. Okay. See,
like,
I maintain that it's gambling if there's no guarantee. If you have a guarantee, it's a calculated, like, maybe you get it early, but you know how much you're paying for it. Make a wise decision. Walk away if you can't afford it. Otherwise, be prepared to pay the full thing. But there's an end to it. So you can't really say it's gambling, because they're actually telling you get it in this amount. If you know, you have a chance of getting it early, but we're telling you get it in this amount. So your assumption as a player, your responsibility to yourself is like, expect this amount. Don't expect anything less. Which is the
problem happens when pooling. It actually messes with your brain. That satisfaction.
Oh no. Okay.
And it's an addiction. It really is, just like gambling in real life. Yeah, sure, there's guarantees and all that stuff. If you don't have the money to hit those guarantee numbers, and you're pretty much putting like all your weekly earnings of a part-time job into a game to pull a character. That's scary, right?
Yeah.
And I can do that because I make money off of content creation, but those who can't, the point I'm getting at is the gacha games and mobile games are like a new market that's being introduced to the gaming industry, but it has this like monetization that is scary. Even just like the other games we had before, MMO had monetization, scary situations. People can't control themselves, and like all the RNG games, they can't control themselves. This is like a common occurring thing for any game nowadays, because they got to make money, right? But I mean, that's never gonna go away in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
And it's so scary. So I kind of wish that people don't waste their money in a sense.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like,
but they still do.
That was one of my concerns going forward with posting gacha videos, because I do it. At one point I decided not to. I skipped like 1 or 2 banners. I recorded it, but I didn't. And then the next time I turn up on a video or stream with that character, people are like, "When did you get it? Like how many pools did you do?" And I was like, "Huh, interesting." But early on. Now I don't get it. I don't think I've seen a comment like that for the longest time. But early on, there were people who were like, "Oh, you're doing an evil thing because you're encouraging people to pull because you have a video on yourself pulling." But I'm like, well, there's two ways to look at it. One is that you see how scary it is and you stay away from it if it's bad luck, right? Two, it's like, I mean, I don't. Initially, I was kind of affected by comments like that, but later on, I'm like, but no, it's like saying a violent movie is encouraging people to go out on the streets and kill people. But at the end of the day, as a viewer, you are responsible for your own actions and the way things influence you. You know, it's like you can't watch a violent movie of like The Purge and do the same thing of like gather a mob of friends and go out and kill people. You know what I mean? It's like that's on you. I'm just.
It's probably one of the hardest things as a hard content creator.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we can't babysit people. We're not, you know what I mean? We're not here to babysit. We're here for entertainment and just give people entertainment, right?
Yeah.
But people do get offended, and there's nothing we can do about that because we're not here to babysit.
Exactly.
It sounds like I'm bad, but like realistically, come on, like you go out, get a job, you work hard, you earn money. That's great. Our job is content creation. We try our best to try to make some money doing content creation, and we have like the world nowadays is so great. There's never really like 100% right and wrong. It's just like every content creator just does what they have to do to try to make a good life for themselves, right? While in a sense give entertainment for people that wants these entertainment.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't understand that, you know, sometimes we do what we do. It might look bad to certain people, but at the end of the day, like we're human beings too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some other funny comments which are more on the positive side of like, when I think of pulling, I just pull up one of your gacha videos and I get the satisfaction from that of like.
Yeah, actually, some people do that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
Like, oh, I thought of pulling for this, and then I watch your video and it's like, yeah, it helped me have the strength to like save on for the next banner that I'm looking for or something. It's like, well, I'm glad you get something positive out of that. Because it could go the other way of like, oh, I didn't want to pull it and I saw you get it and now I want to get it too. So it's like, there's always two sides of it. We can't control who watches it, or rather we can't control what people take away from it. As long as I'm not, you know, it's not like we're
not directly hurting.
Yeah,
somebody,
we're not
like,
uploading videos of us like beating babies or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's just a game. It's just there are people who upload videos of them doing stuff like, I don't know, directly wasting money, like, I don't know, burning cars or something like that. I'm sure there's a video of something like that out there, and it's usually not cheap stuff that they're doing just for entertainment. So if people can, I'm not saying that people condone that kind of behavior, but there's worse stuff out there. We're just playing a game, trying to play the way that we want to, and the community wants to be in on it. So we're like, okay, we're lucky that there is even a community around, you know, what we do, and so I don't see any harm in it. I used to get affected by it, but now I'm like, yeah, we're not doing anything wrong. If you take away something bad from it, that's your on you, you know. Yeah, that's probably a category on TikTok. Burning expensive stuff. I can see that. Oh my god.
I used to feel the same way. I told myself when I first started doing content creation, like I'm not gonna do any pool videos because I felt like it affected people in a bad way. But then the more I did it, I realized like, yo, I can't satisfy everybody. I can't make everybody happy. I just want to have fun the way I want to have fun. And if people, have fun with me, that's cool. For those who can't, and they get offended, I'm just like, just don't be here then.
Yeah.
Just, I'm sorry, but, my vibe doesn't fly with yours. It is what it is. Let's just move on from our lives. We don't know each other. Bye-bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think that's the way. Like, I've also been more... how do I put it? I'm now more at the point of, like, when I'm on stream, it's not more easily triggered, but it's more like... I I feel like I ban people faster or time out people faster.
too.
Yeah,
Me too.
because you've already sat through like, oh, I want to see where this is going, and when it doesn't go down a good path, and you're like, yeah, next time that happens, I'm just gonna nip it in the bud. It doesn't have to be the same person. It's just like, let's do it, because yeah, and I think it's better. I think because it's not that,
It's better for our sanity.
but it's also better. It's also better for chat. I feel because sometimes you just have to put a stop to things, and I think like maybe being new to it, you don't identify it early, and then when you do, you're like ban timeout ban, which is
I had such a bad experience during my initial phase of like my YouTube experience. Like, I'm pretty new to YouTube still, right? And a lot of people don't know, but I've been streaming for like years and years and years before I even started YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that.
Well, long story short, I've been streaming about 6 years.
Whoa.
To 4 to 5 viewers, and essentially what ended up happening was after 4 or 5 years, it was good. Community was small. It was nice. It was awesome. We were having fun.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to a point where, as a person, like, where am I going with this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a dead end. So I got like pretty pissed off. I'm like, okay, let's go make something happen. Like, crap. Like, you know what I mean? But then, because I was so used to this small community of like 5-6 people, after I started actually formulating a community,
Mm-hmm.
those kind of like hate comments or like people's perception towards me, it started getting bigger and bigger without even me ever experiencing something like this, right?
Okay, yeah, I get that.
And so it was so hard. I had a mental breakdown almost, and I had to force myself to like run away from YouTube like secretly, and like it was so crazy. And then now, like you said, it's gotten to the point where like, okay, this is just a part of the process. When people come in and chat and be bad, I'm just like, yeah, we've seen this before. Get this person out of here. I'm tired of it. Get him out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but that's the thing, right? Because I think I was very lucky early on before I even started to essentially so-called make content. I was just posting stuff on YouTube like a diary of like, oh, I did certain pulls. And that's the story I always tell people of like when they ask like, oh, how did you get into doing this? I was like, well, I told you I played Brave Frontier, right? And they had no guarantee, and you're pulling, essentially you could pull endlessly. I've seen horror stories of like people throwing 1K and not getting the character that they want. And lucky for me, I get it in like without even spending because I saved up. So there's that. And when it happens to your friend, you're like, oh, this is real now. It's that bad. And so I was like, I actually took a long break from gacha games until Honkai. And I saw Honkai in one of those videos of like upcoming games of 2017 or something. And I was like, wait, this is a mobile game? Like, imagine. And my phone at the time was super old. So I was like, if I want to play this, I probably need to buy a new phone. And then my friend was like, what about emulator? And I was like, okay, I'll play it on emulator. But it looks way too good to be a mobile game. Because like I would think even PCs would have problems running a game like that at that time, especially 4 years ago. So it was like, okay, I totally forgot about the aspect of like gacha. At the time, the only mobile game I was playing was probably Mobile Legends or some of my friends casually. And so I wasn't spending anything on the game at all. And then I came back in and I was like, oh, there's gacha. And I started posting my pools, because oh wait, hang on, the bots are really different. There's one with one exclamation mark. There's one with another.
This happened to me before. Yeah, this happened to me before.
Interesting. They're all different bots. Wow.
They are. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get. Wait, did I time that out or did I? Oh, never mind. Anyway, so yeah, so, and I was like, what if the rates are so bad because we didn't have S rank guarantees back in like Memento, when we got like Memento and all that. I think it was only Celestial Hymn was the first one with the Celestial Hymn was the first one with an S rank guarantee. And so before that, it was kind of scary. I was like, what if I do so many pulls and don't get anything? And I've heard of people suing the developers and winning because because there's this guy, apparently a Chinese player on a Chinese game, through like, it wasn't even a gacha game, it was an MMO, and they're saying like, oh, if you participate in certain things, there was still percentage involved, and they didn't disclose their probability rates. So this guy dropped like 15k USD equivalent on a Chinese player, and he didn't get this like famed sword that was advertised for it. And it was like, this is not possible because we were not told what range of spending we were gonna do. But not many people out there can throw 15k USD equivalent of like RMB on that. And he was like, and he brought it up, and the government made. This was told to me by a friend of mine from China. So I don't know what game. I don't know if it's true, but like that friend is not a gamer. So if he knows about it, it's probably true. But he was like, the government went to look into that, and were like, show us your rates. And the rates were because they wanted to know if there was even a possibility of the thing dropping in the first place. And so like apparently something on the back end convinced the department looking into this that they were not being fair to the player, and the guy successfully sued them. So I was like, after hearing that story and after like a long break from gacha games, if I'm gonna spend money on a game, I should probably have it recorded somewhere so that if I were to take on this company, I had some proof. You know what I mean? So like,
interesting.
Yeah, and I was like, let me put it on YouTube so that I'm covered. People see it. Even if people don't see it, there's the date of like when I posted it, so they know it's not edited. They know it's like, and then it was really funny. I think the first vid I did was Memento, me pulling for Memento. I didn't eventually get her, and I did like quite a number of pulls. I didn't even talk or anything. I didn't even edit the video. I just started recording, pull, stop recording, and just put it on YouTube. And like, it got like,
that's how you started?
Yeah, it got like 11k views in like less than a week, and I was like, is that normal? I was like, is that normal? I don't have subscribers. Who's watching this? And I was like,
you essentially started content creation just to save your butt for LOL.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's the first time I heard anybody say that kind of a story. What?
I was like less than 100 subs, and it got 11k views, and I was like, who's watching this? What is happening? And yeah, and then I was like, the other thing is like the same case you have with Genshin. I have a lot of different friends who like play different games, and I'm very invested in the games that I play. So over time, it gets harder and harder to convince me to pick up a new game because I'm like, I pick it up and you guys leave, and then I'm the only one grinding it. And whenever it comes out as a topic, I'm just the has-been who's still playing that old game, and you guys are like, this is the new thing. So like, later on I was like, I should have my own friends. I should try making friends, like have a community. So, and this is my game, like I'm not gonna convince any of my IRL friends to play it with me. Although like at the time, one of my friends was actually playing it, and so I was like, I'm not gonna convince my IRL friends to play with me. Like I'm just gonna, if people comment, I can talk to them. I have friends who I can like share this interest with. So that's why I took it more seriously. But the start of it was just to cover my.
So hilarious. Wow. It's so funny. A lot of people who actually do YouTube, like like they normally don't start with like the idea of I'm gonna do this for like to make money kind of deal.
Yeah.
It's more like sure, it would be, everybody has this mentality when they first start YouTube. It's like, it would be nice to make money. It would be nice to make a living.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But always the bottom line is like, I'll give it a shot. And then we'll see where it goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I
Like,
posted 2 videos before it though. Maybe not. Look, the trial.
Yeah, but those are like for fun.
Yeah, the trial stage of like, oh, we get to use these characters, and I was like, okay, let me. That was to kind of explore the uploading process of like, yeah, oh, this is how you do it. Okay, and then was the gotcha video. Yeah, but you're.
That's so funny. Just to cover your butt. That's how you started. Wow, this is brand new information.
The more you know. Yeah, but that is essentially how I like, and I don't know when I just started doing more stuff on it, but
It just happens naturally. I
kind
think.
of. Almost all my gotcha bits have 5 views. How though?
Like when I first started, I had no clue what I was doing. Honestly, the reason why I started YouTube is because I didn't want to go to work, like real life work.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. It's.
But
Mhm.
I mean, I never. It wasn't really like 100% of my bags were in this YouTube basket. It was more like, I've been streaming 5 years in the past. I wasn't getting too much exposure from the Twitch side of things, but I did it anyway because it was enjoyable. Right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Let's try to change this up. So I gave it a shot, like a YouTube thing. Yeah, I was getting frustrated, and I was looking. To be honest, I was looking at other people making Genshin content, and I was like, wait a minute, I can edit videos. I could probably make these kind of videos too if I tried.
Yeah.
So like, I just gave it a shot, and then the first video actually, I put so much effort into it, and it tanked.
Ooh.
Well, initially it tanked, but that was expected.
Yeah,
right?
because no one has seen your channel before, so it's like exposure.
I like 30 subscribers, and those were like my friends and families, and like.
Oh, I didn't tell anyone at all that I was making this.
Well, it was my gaming friends, if anything.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, that makes sense.
But then the channel had like other content, like some random thing that I made in the past that had nothing to do with what I'm doing now, just like for fun. It was a channel that I had for fun, randomly uploading whatever that I did in the past, right? And then I took it all down. I uploaded this first video. I was like, I'm gonna try really hard. Let's see where it goes. It didn't do well, initially. I was like, okay, I gave it a shot. I'm gonna just try a couple more videos, and if YouTube works out, it works out. If it doesn't, then I'll just go get a real job. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why I got like super lucky, and I can't believe where I am right now. It's insane. It's so lucky. It's so lucky. That video had like 50 views in first 2 weeks, right? To a lot of people, that's a lot, actually. To a lot of YouTubers, 50 views on a very first video is actually a lot. But then I was like, okay, that's cool. And I completely forgot about it, and I started working on the next video, and then one day it just popped, and I'm like, okay, apparently I did something right. It's popping off, right? I was like, what is going on? So I can say that for sure, just out of curiosity, to see if anything would happen, I made my first video. I put in a lot of effort, but damn, so lucky. I can't believe it. There's always a amount of effort plus luck that involves persons like somewhat successful things.
For sure. Right? Like I was going to say earlier when you're talking about your first video, it's like exposure is never related to quality. It's two different things. Your video can be the best edited, best quality video ever, but it's making it is one process, but getting exposure for it's a different process entirely.
Yeah.
So it's like, but you need both of them, because if you have the ability to get so much exposure, but you're gonna like, if someone like like a huge content creator or like YouTube themselves are gonna like draw traffic to your video, but it's crap. It's like it's not gonna it's not gonna end up well anyway. But so you need both, but it's never like if one of them is not doing well, it's never reflective of the other. I feel it's two different processes.
Oh, It's both. Like, yeah, it's two separate things that needs to work together
Yeah.
for something to happen.
Yeah.
And it's, oh my god, it's I feel so fortunate, and I'm sure every YouTuber that does anything feels the same way. It's like, how you sit there and you're wondering, how am I here? You know what I mean? I don't know what happened. I just did a lot of work, but just somehow I'm here, and I would attest that to luck to a certain degree, right?
Yeah. Did the 11,000 people who watched that Memento video, thank you guys.
Yeah. Seriously, like you didn't put that video up just to like get views. You just did it because like, what, cover my butt.
Yeah,
And
I'll be honest. I was
people
like,
started watching.
if I were to do anything that would get views, it would be like, oh, let me explain this game mode, or like, you know,
Yeah.
I'll talk about this or that, or like have some information. That was just such a random recording,
Mhm.
and it was just like when I logged back in to just look at to like upload the next thing, I was like, wait, it's getting views? Who's watching this?
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing ever. Oh my god. Yeah.
So many people ask me like, can you teach me how to do YouTube? Like even my real life friends ask me, right?
Mm.
And I just literally tell them, work hard, but you just need to get lucky.
I feel like
You need both.
sometimes there is a certain meta to like, okay,
Yeah.
if you're gonna do Honkai, between Honkai and Genshin has a bigger community, so you have
Oh yeah.
so you have like more hits in terms of like there's more
Oh.
people actively typing the word Genshin Impact than there are people typing the word Honkai.
Sure.
So there are certain bits of
I got
understanding.
lucky with that. Yeah, I got lucky with that actually. Like, of all the games that I could have picked, I picked Genshin when it was like popping off. Right?
Yeah.
It just so happened. It's so lucky.
Yeah, and you might not even have known of, because you didn't even know about the state of like the mobile game or gacha game community. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was just blind luck of like, yeah, let's get that one.
Let me
yeah.
try it. Let me try it. Let's see what happens. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that was really, I would say, kind of in terms of like the choice was kind of lucky of like, because you could have picked like a dying gacha game and being like, yeah, this game's really
Seriously.
cool, guys.
It all boils back down to like my girlfriend telling me to play this game, and I just tried it. That in and of itself is luck. Like, I could have just said no and played something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, I could also have
Everything.
not seen that video of like best games to play, best mobile games in 2017.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I remember seeing a thumbnail. No. I remember like my mouse going over the vid, and you know, they play like a short preview. I was like,
Yeah.
that can't be a mobile game. So I clicked on it to like, to be like, wait, did this guy make a mistake? Is this actually a PC game? And I was like, Honkai Impact mobile game, and I was like, no
That's
way. Yeah, I was like, no way. It was showing like the first stage of combat on the Celine, and it was using White Comet. I remember so vividly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That's so lucky.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's insane. Which phone can handle that? Yeah, and wow, there we are. Oh my god. Also, one of the early deciding factors for me was I really wanted Night Moonbeam. At the time there were only 3 S ranks.
Oh, aesthetically, like you saw it and you just wanted it.
Yeah. At the time there were only 3 S ranks, and they just introduced Himeko. That's how like it was like, and Blood Rose was the rate up banner. And I was like, no, but I want this battlesuit. It looks so cool. It looks, and I saw her like spinning and all of that. I didn't even know what was meta or anything. I saw her QTE. I saw your reaction to her QTE. It's insane. Her QTE is like, if we don't see enough of it because we can't practically use it, but it used to be a really practical, because what we did, her QTE shoots 50 rockets from her back. So in the past, when we had this thing called boss invasion, which is like an Armada boss, the Armada have to like deal a certain amount of damage to kill the boss. So it's like a joint effort. And there's this boss which was a Honkai Emperor. So what we would do is we had a tactic of launching because her trigger is air when the enemy is knocked airborne. So we would knock it airborne, and we would position her back when her QTE comes in to be right inside, like the body of the emperor.
What is this meta?
So like all 50, because the 50 then wouldn't spread because they would explode in effect immediately when they came out from her back. So it would take all 50 hits, and the damage from it was insane. It was. I think I even have a video on it, but right before boss invasion went down.
Meta?
It was like insane.
Yo, it's so ham.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was crazy, and that was even before I saw the practical uses. I just liked the way the battlesuit looked, I guess. I was like, okay, look, I'm gonna top up in this game for the first time, and if I don't get it in the next, like, I can't remember how many pools, like 40 pools or something, I'll maybe not play this game. And then she dropped in 20 pools, and I'm like, I still have 20 pools more. I can do something with this. Okay, I'm gonna play this game.
So that's how it all started.
That's how I stayed in the game, I guess. That was really funny. It was really lucky because it was my first 20 pools on that banner. I think it was the standard banner before it was called the dorm supply. I was like, okay, cool. RNG coming in clutch for for me and MiHoYo, I guess. Saving me.
Hey, that's why you're here right now.
Oh yeah.
Essentially.
Can you read the word on KMB's chest? Oh, that I don't think anyone can.
It's like lines. It's just lines.
I think there's a clearer picture of it though. There actually are words because Memento has the same thing. Let's see. Yeah, her because they did sell something like a t-shirt with this logo. And then the words there on her belly area, they're like actual words. I don't think we can make it out in the game, but on like the t-shirts that are sold, there you can read it. This is really interesting.
Cool.
Yeah, I bet there are words on the Night Moonbeam battlesuit. It's just you can't really see it. I'll hunt it down, guys.
It looks like words, but it's just way too small.
Yeah, I'll hunt it down. I'll do a community post on it, but for now we can't. There's no way. Oh my god. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. Maybe you could just ask the staff at MiHoYo, because they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the manga.
Oh, it's in the
apparently it's on
manga.
the manga.
All right.
Huh.
People are saying mantis. We'll go figure it out. Okay, so we don't have to trouble the MiHoYo staff because they have an open office, so they can talk to each other easily. So like, can you help me ask that the writer, the designer, what words? But apparently we don't have to do that. And they have this
Oh, that's cool.
crossover. Wait, what were her? Yeah, I should equip this one. Yeah, this is the original. Peak.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Just to like catch up. Everybody keeps telling me, yo, like other content creators telling me, you gotta hurry up and play, cause you don't know what you're missing out on chapter 25. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll catch up, man.
Spoiling in his face. Oh, my bad. Whoops. Well, this is a collab battlesuit, so this one has no spoilers.
To be honest, majority of the things that you show me, it still doesn't make sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Because it's fine. Like, I'm not there yet, so it doesn't click in my head. You know what I mean?
It's like when you get closer, you're kind of so here's the thing, right? That happens to me with a lot of anime that my friends are watching, and they're like, "This anime is good, get into it." But I've seen spoilers from like 50 chapters in already. So to me, it's like, okay, I know there's this person, I know there's this look that exists, but I don't know anything about it. So there's no impact. But when I get there in story, you know, it's like, it still hits the same, I would say. I personally think so. But with that in mind, I also shouldn't be poking around too much. Whoopsie.
Oh, that's a funny story that you say that, because before I even played Honkai, like way before, my first YouTube video, if anybody's seen it, inside my very first YouTube video, there's actually a scene between Himeko and the Herrscher of the Void. That cutscene,
Oh.
I've actually seen it way back before.
Oh.
Because I was doing a research for that video, and it was completely like it wasn't another topic. It was about Genshin. It wasn't anything of Honkai. But I was just saying in the very beginning, like, hey, you know, this character in Genshin has red hair, and kind of, you know, apparently this character is originating from the Pyro Archon named Murata, and I did kind of research on like who Murata is in Honkai Impact, and then the first thing I see was actually that cutscene with Himeko Sparrow, right? But then back then, I had no idea what that cutscene was.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so I've seen it. I've seen a portion of it, and I had no clue what the implications were of that cutscene. Right. I just saw that it was a character that had red hair, fighting something that's flying with wings. Right.
Yeah. and it's like, because it's not huge to you at the time of watching it, it's you kind of forget a lot about it. And like watching it the second time, it's not that you can still react the same way of like, oh, it's as if you're first time seeing it, because your brain only recalls it when you're like getting to that point.
You're so invested in the story at that point that it hit. So chapter 9, when I was streaming chapter 9, the Honkai, I knew the cutscene because I've seen it before. I was like, it's gonna happen. I know it, and people are probably here to see me react to it. But I mean, I don't even know what it represents. But since I was already in chapter 9, I knew a lot about the story building up to chapter 9. I was like, I wonder if it's gonna hit me because I kind of seen what happened.
Oh yeah.
Right. But oh my god, it still hit me so hard. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
It still would. Which is really funny, right? Because I remember talking to UD about this, I think on one of the podcast streams also, about like, because UD came into the Honkai community with reaction videos, and that's still his main content. Because like, which is one thing I also maintain, because around reaction videos, there's always the positive side, like the side that's okay with that, like, you know, like, and not just reaction videos, like any other content, but like the difficulties that reaction videos face is like, oh, is it a fake reaction, or like, you know, and how real is the reaction? And knowing UD, I would say like it's 100%. And I think like even for many other reactions, not just Honkai, just any other kinds, I do think it's genuine, but people have different levels of like emotional response. For me, I'm very non-emotional, and I know that about myself. Like, I contain everything, not intentionally, but I contain everything. And whether like in the moment, if I'm feeling sad or angry or anything, you can't see it off of me. A bit of it comes from like, it's just, I don't know, I'm just naturally that way. I think it did come a bit from my childhood of like, if I would react a certain way, people would take advantage of, or like make fun of me in terms of like, oh, if I got angry at this, and they'll be like, haha, we got to you, you know, that kind of thing. And like over time, as you grow up, you kind of, that's my response to it. Like I'm like, naturally, I just don't show anything.
But it is like still your genuine reaction.
Yeah.
It's just that's just who you are, right?
And I do know people who like just have huge reactions to everything. So like, in terms of like, is it fake? No, I don't think so. But I remember talking to UD on this of like, I did feel like maybe some of the other people who were trying to do it were, because it's your first time, like you were mentioning, your first experience with like that clip. It's like just for research. So it hits different because like, who is this character? It's just a red hair character. She looks pretty cool. She has fire elemental powers, but you're not attached enough to your character to be like, oh, it's so sad, she's dying, oh my god. But if you've done like 8 chapters before, you're like, oh, I know this character. Oh, she's such a Chad. She would do anything for her students, you know? And it's like, you're attached to her, and you would want her to live on in the story, but you also know there's like foreshadowing of like her coughing up blood, like the Chronicle chapter. which I saw you play on Twitch, was like, oh, they're trying to find a cure, but they can't. So we know that like her lifespan is, she doesn't have that much longer, and like so. And when you see that scene,
it's obvious. Yeah, you know she's gonna die.
You know that's also one of the things early on in the game when they were foreshadowing that, when we were like, when this was like, oh, we only had until chapter 6. This was the latest chapter ever, and when they were like chapter 7, and I was like, they foreshadowed it once in the Shinian chapter, the Chronicles, and then they're showing her cough up blood. I'm like, which game has the balls to go through with it and kill one of their main characters? You know, like I was still very skeptical as one of the players. I was like, it's a, you know, having more characters makes you more money or stuff like that. And I was like, which game would dare to do it? And then they had that scene, and the whole community was so emotional, and I was like, wow. So okay, they followed through on it.
Well, to be fair, Wendy already died. Nobody seemed to give a crap.
Oh, but also, our introduction to Wendy was pretty brief. It
was whack. I'm just gonna say it was whack, and I just attest that to their story writing wasn't to par as it is now, way back when. You know, like, I'm so sad that she died, but like, as I said, it's like, okay, that's how they're gonna kill her off. This is whack. Like, come on.
Yeah,
right?
I saw your reaction to that one.
That's why everybody that was like asking me to play this game, they're like, just get past through chapter 4, bro. Just get past chapter 4. You're gonna enjoy the game. And I'm like, okay. And then I realized that's what they meant. It's like, oh, Wendy's dying like that? That's whack. Like,
yeah.
To a lot of people, people would probably stop playing after that. But, you know.
But I don't think we were attached enough to the character. Because she was just, it's just like not even a few.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That was why it was so whack, because I wasn't attached to the character, right?
Yeah.
Because she shows up in middle of chapter 3 or something, and like dies a chapter after. I'm like, okay, who is this character? She looks cool.
Also, it's like, it's kind of hard to give her a death scene, because it's, I mean, okay, they could do it, but it's still.
I'm just gonna say they were too poor to do it at that time.
That could be the case, yeah. Yeah, Honkai and
just the manpower.
Yeah.
Just the manpower.
True. I mean, yeah.
I don't know what happened between chapter 4 and chapter 9. Somewhere between chapter 4 and chapter 9, they made a crap ton of money and like started adding CG cutscenes, you know what I mean? Like, damn. I don't know what happened, but
I feel like it was no, you know, I feel like maybe they stretched their budget for it. Maybe it's chapter 9 that was the gamble of like, this is going to make or break the game, right? Because they don't develop that cutscene in a short amount of time. They definitely started working on it. Maybe like at chapter 3 or 4, they were already like, we're gonna get to chapter 9. It's gonna be a huge cutscene, and that video has like 50-something million views right now, so it's insane.
Even the cutscene before that one, where it was the one with Kiana and Mei.
Oh, on the Hyperion, and then Mei gets teleported out of it right before. Yeah. That was already like better done before.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, so here we go. Here are the cutscenes coming. Okay, and it was good. I'm like, all right, so this is where he started making money. Okay. But realistically, like you said, it's probably like them just. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
It was probably a gamble.
I feel like it was. They probably already were like, you know, we're gonna make something big. We only get this one shot, and we're gonna try it out. So then they did it, and because it's successful, then they were able to like make a follow up to it or like make more.
Thank God. If it didn't, I wouldn't be here.
Oh my God! Right, imagine
It all goes back to the luck.
Imagine
It's
the AdSense from that one cutscene. 50 million views on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! It's not. It's in the grand scheme of things. It's definitely not. It's not even enough to pay for like a portion of the production cost of it. But it's still pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Chapter 9 hits the selling point. Yeah, it's that big reveal. Have you watched Bleach? I mean, it's an anime it's a manga that's ended a long time ago, so I'm not spoiling anything. But the first act of Bleach was really what sold it to me, of like how Aizen was like fake dead and like his, it was like that whole plot twist, but it was so well done. And I feel like every story has to have that first,
big hitting point.
that first hook on like, oh, this is so good. And yeah, probably what people are saying. Chapter 9 probably was it. I feel like before they had some good points, but you could see from the writing even, because they had to go back and retcon it. They were probably still finding themselves of like, what are we going to do with this or that? But they probably had a clear end goal at chapter 9 of like, that's where we're getting to. So like, just get past that. And when they did, it was like, wow, now we know where we're going. And there was so many questions, because she was the first Hesha introduced as a playable character. Not the first one, because Wendy technically, but as a playable character. And I was like, wow, the power level is so high. It's like, where are we going to go from here? Is the game going to, what's going to happen to the meta? Or like, what are the implications introducing a Hesha into this at this level? And I'm glad they were able to, make the best out of it so far. In story-wise, yeah.
With that said, that same thing, the big impact portion in the beginning sections of the game, it's coming for Genshin.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's close. I think it's really close.
I agree with that 100%. Genshin,
all the people that are like, all the people that are like in it right now, somewhat invested. Once that hits, they will be fully invested.
Oh no. Oh yeah, like with all they've been doing for like the cutscenes on Honkai, Genshin definitely has the resources, the money, to be more direct, to make like an entire, I would say like even an OVA, like 24-minute long, like here's a super huge OVA in Genshin of like that has major story implications.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? Like, you would think they have so much experience doing it like this, making such a big, like, impactful point in the game, but they still haven't done it in Genshin, right?
Yeah.
They're not stupid. They know how to do it. It's just they're waiting for that perfect moment, and I feel like it's soon. So I'm so scared because I know that it's coming. It's just a matter of when, right?
Oh.
Now, I don't know if that represents like if a character dies or not. It's not like that. It's more like a story starts like banging on the door, like, yo, it's starting. The story's picking up. We're going lift off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's soon.
Wait,
It's
there
soon.
is a good point. Because of the two MCs, it's like, which one do you pick to be canon? But isn't it decided that Ether is the canon one?
Yeah, it is. I think it is 100%.
Yeah, because the teaser about like Dysley saying that like we need to save her, it's her. So we kind of get the idea that Ether's, although they've been trying to deny it, but it's like, come on, why wasn't Lumine in that video?
It's not even only that. It's like all the videos, all the trailers. The main character was always Ether.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of
even
obvious,
pre-release, right? It was always Ether. Yeah.
There was one that was Lumine, which was weird, but I don't think that has much implications. Like, it was like a PlayStation trailer where it was Lumine instead of Ether, but I thought that was just because for the looks, the aesthetics. But everything else been Ether, and I don't know.
Maybe they were trying to play what do you call that? Soul Calibur. So Soul Calibur, I think 4 or something, had like Xbox got Yoda and then PS got Vader or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, as a DLC character. So maybe they're just trying to play that like, oh, it's a different platform, so we have Lumine for you. Here you go.
Oh, was it Switch? It's one of those console trailers that had.
Oh,
Lumine
Switch trailer. Okay.
But even in the manga, which takes place before the game even happens, it was Ether in that manga at the very end, not Lumine. That met with Vincent.
Yeah.
So it's just like, Ether's the main character.
I would say for sure. all the initial trailers also, like when the earliest trailers were always talking about Dvalin, like, oh, he's the four winds, one of the four winds, and then like he was that tornado scene in Mondstadt, and Amber and Ether like looking up. It was always Ether, that's for sure. Me as a Lumine player.
I picked Lumine too, by the way.
Oh no.
Why? Aesthetics.
Yeah, for sure. There's always that.
There was a funny theory going around that I kind of started just as a joke.
Okay.
Like, who's gonna die off?
Oh.
The point is, whoever you pick, Ether or Lumine as your main character, they rarely have voice lines. I think they talked like at max 3 times so far in the story.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but the voice actor and actresses that play these characters are high-profile voice actor and actresses. They're getting paid, but they're not getting any dialogue, right?
Free money, free money.
I'm thinking, I just random theory that I made, random speculation, just like, yo, what if the main character that you're playing right now is the character that's gonna die? And the other character starts talking, the other twin that you didn't select, is gonna start talking more, and you're gonna play as that character. And I'm like, it was a joke, but then I'm just so surprised why the main character is still not talking.
It's
But they have voice lines. They're just not talking. It's so weird.
But it's more of like the self-insert, right? Like the like Persona 5, of like you use Joker, but Joker doesn't talk. Kind of a thing.
Yeah, but in that game, there's so many times where they don't even really directly call your name out.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah.
But in this game, it's like they actually call you as a traveler, not your name. They actually call you a traveler, right? I don't know.
One of the early theories that I had, I don't know if you've ever stumbled across this or like thought about it. But I kept saying, like, I thought Genshin had time travel, and that Dying Slave is the future Ether who came back and tried to like. Yeah. Was it a popular theory?
Yes, it was.
Right, because it really seems like they're the same person, and like he's wearing a mask, so like, oh, you can't see my real face.
It was a popular theory, but when I heard it, I was like, I don't know. Every now and then I get this gut feeling, and my gut feeling was like, I don't think that's true. But I do believe there is a time alteration in this game. That's what I thought. But then I feel like it takes even further. There's time alteration and a bubble universe on top of it.
Whoa.
So it's like so confusing.
Yeah, they did a good job at like giving us enough info, but not enough info to like spoil it.
They do know everything.
Yeah.
Every time, every patch. I'm sure it's the same for Honkai.
I do think that they've already like even in closed beta, I do think that they've developed as far as all the 7 continents. For sure. At least they have a framework and
on the storyboard kind of thing. Yeah.
And like they know where they're going with this. They already have the end story. They just are working in like we're just watching it play out. Because they've even had like you can see it a lot in Inazuma when they're talking about like, oh, this guy is from Fontaine, and he can even talk about Fontaine like, oh, back in Fontaine we have this or that, or like and like the recent event had this guy from Natlan who was talking about like the shadow boxing. So and that's also funny, right? Because would they then introduce like brawlers like boxing or gauntlets when we get to Natlan?
I think they will. It's funny. That was my very first theory video. I was like, they're probably gonna make it. They're gonna give gauntlets as one of the weapons. Trust me, in the future.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But
oh my god,
people don't believe me when I say I genuinely believe.
Wait, my.
Oh my god, what is that?
So what I do is I don't actually have a webcam. I use one of my phones as a camera.
Oh.
Yeah, and I forgot to plug in the charger. So it's
your phone is dead?
It's gonna take a while to start back up. Just give it a second, guys. Let me whoops. I forgot to plug it in. Okay, so now I'm not on stream. This is IslandXD stream, guys. All right, hang on. Let me get it like working again, or maybe I can switch phones. So I have more than one phone because Red Magic sent me 2 phones. I'm lucky enough that happened. I would never have imagined that like a phone company would actually send me a phone. That is crazy.
Oh, literally. You even took it off. I'm literally the only person on the screen.
Yep. Welcome to IslandXD stream.
Oh, this is so awkward.
Okay, it's restarting. Hang on. Okay, let me take you off too. Okay, let's see. Alright, once my cam is back on, we'll both be back on screen. But for now, let me play something.
And I'll just talk, I guess.
Yeah. I probably don't want to play because if I play, there's gonna be like the in-game sounds and stuff like that. It's gonna be loud. All right, hang on.
Oh yeah, as I was saying, so many people don't believe me when I say MiHoYo has been planning this story of this game out for like 4 years in advance.
For sure.
And people are telling me like you're crazy, like they're super delayed on Inazuma. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, I don't think you understand.
Exactly.
As far as what I've been researching everything about this game as much as I can since the game released for about now, 10 months, 8-9 months, and every time I find something, it just reflects towards another thing that they've already set up like months and months and months in advance. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, honestly, this game, they plan everything out. Did you know? I don't know if this is fact, but I keep hearing from the Korean Genshin Impact community that apparently La Senora, before she was even first introduced to the game, when the game first came out, apparently they spent 8 months developing that character.
Oh.
Just that one character. I don't know if this is fact. It's just what they've been saying. And I'm like, I wouldn't even be surprised. They were saying, what they were saying was, I hope this character doesn't die, but I don't know. MiHoYo's been working on this character for 8 months, is what they've been saying.
Okay.
And I'm like, I believe it. With that point, I feel like if they spend that much time on every single character that they make, Kazuha dying? I don't know. Like, damn. 8 months worth of character building in the background just to kill it off in one patch. I feel like that's so, I don't know, such a wasted, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but they did say that they take like 3 months to a year to develop characters. So
oh, it's 8 months designing Crimson Witch.
Oh.
So that makes sense. The story within the Crimson Witch is so insanely bad.
Oh, wait.
It's
talking about Korean. So I play this game called Counterside. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Counterside?
Yeah. It's okay. There's this character, her name, and before you tell me the actual pronunciation, right? Let me just take a So there's this character, her name Gaeun, and I always pronounce it as Gaeun. Gaeun? Is that correct? Korean? Kaun. Okay. Do you know how like every single English-speaking Counter-Strike content creator has been pronouncing it? Gaeun. Gaeun. Because like Gae, so they pronounce like gay.
Oh.
And like, every time I hear that name, I'm like, no.
Oh man, it's pronounced Colin, and that's actually like a beautiful sounding name, and they're butchering it.
Oh my god! I know it's Ka because like I've seen 1 or 2 older K drama, and like they pronounce Ka, but like in the subtitles, the name is like starts with a G, and I'm like, oh, okay, but like. Gaeun is next level, man. It's like, come on.
But I mean, I can't really that does frustrate me, but I can't really say
Yeah.
anything because I mispronounce names all
But
the time, and people yell at
they're
me
nice about it
anyway.
because like they also do say I'm probably butchering this name, but gay.
Oh.
I'm like, they know, but like they can't. But they probably just don't know how to search up the actual pronunciation, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, even if I do that a lot, and even if I do, I still get it wrong. So, because I'm not native to certain languages,
Yeah.
right?
I try my best, but like, yeah, sometimes you just can't. You can't for every language, man.
Like some of the names in Liyue, it's hard as heck. It's so hard for me to pronounce, and it's just I'm not native to the language. I have to like ask people.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's so funny because I mean, I've tried I've wanted to learn Korean for a bit. I've heard that like if you speak Japanese, like Korean is like it takes usually a Japanese native takes like 6 months to learn Korean is what I heard.
Yeah, it's very similar. Very
Yeah,
similar.
because we have the same like sentence structure and stuff like that, but there's certain differences. Like the what do they call it? Particle, sentence particle, or something like that is less in Korean.
Oh my god, you're so much smarter than me. I don't even know what that is.
It's less in Korean than like in Japanese.
Okay.
So like I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And I heard that, oh, you just need to pick up the vocabulary and you pretty much got it. I'm like, okay, I'll try to learn it someday. Oh.
Yeah, a lot of the times, I think that's why I picked up Japanese so fast. Like, at least when I'm watching anime, anyway. It's like it's gotten to the point where when they're talking and I don't have subtitle, I still kind of understand what they're saying.
Oh yeah. Because it makes sense to you. You just need the word.
Yeah, exactly. Like I just don't know the vocabulary, but I understand with the context what they're saying exactly because the structure is very similar.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, it might be because I'm Korean, or it might be because I'm a huge weeb that watches anime all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I think it's the similarities that makes it really easy to just pick it up, because especially like if it's not either of them, and you're like if you don't understand either of them and you're trying to pick up either of them, you'll think in your own other languages sentence structure, like, and in English it's different from English, so you'll be like you're trying to make sense out of it but you can't, so there's that.
I still think English is the worst language in the world.
Is the what?
Worst language ever.
Why?
People are gonna flame me for saying that, but like, okay, English is my primary language, but interestingly enough, it's my second learned language, right? So English isn't like I don't understand the entirety of English and how to pronounce certain things, even though it's my primary speaking language now. Right? So I'm in this weird place where I know more about English, but I know less about how to say things in English because I'm like stuck in between. It's weird, but there's so many. It's just every time I think I understand a certain rule and like certain structure of a rule in English, it just doesn't make sense. And then every time I try to pronounce a word, it's like the biggest thing that pisses me off. We say in English, Asia, right? Correct pronunciation is Asia. That's literally every other country says Asia. It's even spelled like Asia, A-S-I-A.
Oh yeah, in Japanese too, actually. Now that I think about it.
So why are they saying Asia? Like, come on, doesn't make sense in my brain.
Oh my god.
Like, what?
True.
I hate I hate English. It's just like kilometers. Whoa, why is it called kilometers when every other country says kilometers? You know what I mean? Like,
but I feel like English is the easiest at least among the three that I can speak.
It's easiest to get. It's just
because it's just 26 alphabets. I feel like Mandarin is the hardest to me because there's no forming a word. It's like you know how to write the word or you don't. That's it. It's just one word, and you have to know all, like, each individual word. It's so hard. But English has has alphabets, Japanese has like hiragana, katakana. So it's like you can
Yeah.
still use it as a crutch. And like Korean also has is it called Hangul?
It's
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there's also that. It's like more like alphabetic. So it's easier to like, okay, I can maybe wing it and try to write some words. But Mandarin is like, is that word or you know it or you don't? It's like, it's so hard. But it's also nice to like be able to understand, I guess.
Yeah, I just have a problem with English pronunciation.
Nah.
The English is not hard to learn. It's just,
I mean,
so,
with it
some of
being
these words-
easy, it makes it not so hateable, I guess, since it's like easily picked up.
I guess. Yeah. And then people argue like which is the correct way to say certain
Oh,
words.
yeah.
I'm like, well, it depends where you're from. Europe says it's stuff differently
Yeah.
than America, right? So it's just like in this weird place, this American English. I guess I have a problem with American English pronunciation more than anything else.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, some words I remember talking about this on someone else's. I was hanging out on like, I can't remember Scout or Fen. They've both been on a podcast before. Like we were talking about like I kept going on about do you say either or either? Do you say all these like double words and they're like,
Yeah.
it's interesting. And they're like, oh, I use either for certain situations, but sometimes I auto switch to like either. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
You know, I actually Googled this. I was so curious about that exactly. I Googled it. Like I Googled what the answer was. Apparently it's both. That's how it works. In American English, they're both correct. I'm like, okay, sure. I'll, if you say so.
Thanks, Marvel.
It's
Also, I'm
so-
reading chat, but yeah, it's also. I mean, chat's okay. Is there something we should be picking up from chat or not? We're reading chat anyway. Yeah, sorry to cut you on that.
Like on Genshin recently with the archipelago
Mhm.
patch. Remember that? Conch or conch? Which is correct?
Oh no, I just say conch because I didn't bother to like.
I Googled it.
And it's conch.
Apparently they're both correct.
What?
I'm like, yeah.
Oh no. If it's a
then-
name, I try to make sure it's like this name, like
Sure.
chat was saying.
Sure.
I think it's Princesin Deva Thailand, which I might be wrong, but I tried.
But yeah, apparently it's both. And I was like, and then out of joke, because everybody and their mom were like, no, dude, the correct pronunciation is conch, right? That's what they're telling me, even like everybody else. And I was like, is that right? I Googled it, and they were both right. So I just to piss people off, and just just know that I know I'm right, I kept saying conch, just to piss people off. And they're like, you're wrong. And I'm like, nope, it's both right. You know, get out of here. Don't talk to me like that. You don't talk to me like that. I do my research. It's so funny.
Somewhat close,
Both
just a
of
bit
you.
butchered. Well, I'll take a bit butchered. I'll take that.
Yeah, English. I
Also,
don't
like
know.
welt. I heard it's pronounced velt because I don't know what language it's supposed to be in.
Yeah, it's similar to venti.
It's velt, right? Even though it's a W, it's supposed to be velt. I have no idea.
Like venti is with the V, but it's pronounced venti. Like venti.
Oh,
It's weird.
interesting. Yeah, like Mondstadt and Mondstadt.
Yeah, and Mondstadt is from German.
Yeah.
Too. It's like based on German. So it makes
Mondstadt.
sense. The venti. Yeah.
Oh, that is true. Interesting. Is the W
don't
a
know
V in German? I think so.
I have no idea, but it just feels like it. Like kinda. I don't know. W is V and V is F. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, V is F? Huh.
Like,
Fenty. Fenty. That almost sounds British now. Fenty. Hello, my name is Fenty. I'm here for afternoon tea. Am I?
It's very interesting.
Am I offending people? Nah, I hope not. Yeah, like how Volkswagen is pronounced Volkswagen. Ah, Volkswagen.
That's why I keep hearing like.
Oh yeah.
Like-
I have a German friend who said like the blacksmith in Mondstadt is called Wagner, because the W.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That actually makes sense.
I was like, oh yeah, that's a name everyone has been butchering unintentionally, but oh my god.
Wait, so it's Wagner, but it's like Wagner.
It's like Wagner, I think.
Wagner. I mean, it makes sense. It's based on Germany, right?
Yeah. And then like I've watched this. It's pretty old. It's a TV series called The Gifted. It's basically like X-Men-ish kind of thing, but it's like set in the future. So it's like the X-Men are not there anymore. But so there's this pretty recognizable name in the X-Men in like the world of X-Men called the Von Struckers. And then they pronounce it Von Strucker, right? But like I think it's German, I don't know, but this the actual like person said his own name, and he said like Von Stucker or something like that. I was like, huh, because like
it sounds so cool.
Yeah, like your issue with like American pronunciation of like they call it just Von Strucker because they use like English English like phonetic pronunciation, but like when he was like saying his own name, it was like Von Stucker, and I was like, oh, because it's not an English name. Oh no. But also they don't correct, like they still stay they don't make like the American characters in the show say it the German way. So they only have the German one say it that way, and then the Americans still call it Von Strucker, which I think is fair. Huh. Mitch Schneider, what? Baumang? Wait, Baumang really? Oh, Schiff Schneider. That one, I remember. I wanted that weapon.
Speaking of which, a lot of people still yell at me for saying Conria the way I say Conria.
Oh, I say it. I say that too, and then like because here's the thing, right? Because that's the way the Japanese one.
That's how they say it. Yeah.
Japanese also goes like. Yeah, I think so. Kandia. So I was like, okay, I just mimic what I hear. I don't care.
Yeah, but people yell at me because that's not how they say it in the English stuff.
Wait, how does it sound in English? Kanria?
It's there's no like accentual thing ever. It's just just read it like it's a word, like Kanya.
Oh, like Kanria. Like okay, I get it. Yeah, I don't. I just follow. Whatever I heard, I mimic it. That's it.
Yeah. But it's a Chinese game, so I'm just like, I'll say it the way Chinese community says it, right? But then because everybody plays in English stuff, I'm wrong, and I'm like getting yelled at. Like,
but there are phonetically like recreated English Chinese names. So like Durandal, her Chinese name is Yolan Taier, which is basically. The words are not like it's in the if the words happen to make sense, it's good. But like sometimes the words in Mandarin are not supposed to make sense. They're just put together to phonetically recreate the English name. So there are names like that. So sometimes the English pronunciation might be the right one. I'm just saying. But Kanria, I think I still go with Kanria because they also have like the apostrophe in the name. So like, why?
That's the biggest thing,
right?
It's like, why is it there?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they put it there for a reason. MiHoYo puts everything there for a reason. Oh my god.
I mean, people still yell at me, and it's just one of the biggest thing that like annoys me. At first, it was in the very beginning, it was depressing, but now I stopped giving a crap. Now it's just like every time I see it, I'm just like, oh, not again.
No, that's the same thing for me. Like I pronounce this word Hasha, but everyone goes Hersher.
Yeah.
But I remember I had one specific video where I made the video just to ask people to tell me how to pronounce it in the comments. And so, lucky enough, I have viewers from Germany as well, and they're like, yeah, you're pretty close. I was like, oh, phew. Because I always go like Hasha off the board, and like a lot of people I talk to always point that out of like, interesting that you would pronounce it that way, and I'm apparently I haven't been too far off with my pronunciation, so yeah, I'm grateful that I'm not too far off with that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just like it doesn't matter how you pronounce it. It's just being respectful and mindful of however they decided to pronounce it, because everybody has their own reasons,
Yeah.
right? But if they come at me in the comments like you're wrong, I'm like, well, screw you, get out of here. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why are you yelling at me? Don't yell at me.
Especially like if it's a name, I try to be as accurate as possible. It's just like, yeah, don't butcher people's names, man. Like they're given a name for a reason. So I just try to be as accurate as possible. Some of them I can't because I don't have a proper source for it. But like there's one that's interesting enough that I learned recently also. That people have all been calling Turgenev. And then like someone told me the pronunciation is Turgenev. Because they're like, the NEV is like a Yev. I was like, okay, you know what? It sounds cooler, and it's a Russian name anyway. I'ma stick to that.
It sounds cooler. Yeah. I'd do that. I'd be like that too.
Yeah. It's like I just prefer. Wait, what? The bot is back? Oh my god. How many of them exist? Look.
I think
it has like an exclamation mark and 2 brackets, and then it's bracket exclamation mark. They just keep switching the thing behind, but it's always wow.
There's hundreds of them.
Oh, that was one point I was trying to make earlier. Of like, you were talking about no spoilers and bot no spoilers. Yeah, the worst thing the bot could do is come in and spam spoilers. Honkai spoilers. That would be funny.
They're sitting there right now googling it.
If I were a new Honkai player and I was spoiled in story by a bot like that, I wouldn't be mad. That would be funny. But anyway. Oh, how do you pronounce Leeuwenhoek? I pronounce it Leeuwenhoek. I don't know. I heard it as like Leeuwenhoek, so I pronounce Leeuwenhoek. Oh yeah, it's Lee. Now I see this. Now I see how I pronounce it doesn't actually make sense phonetically. But I just pronounce it Leeuwenhoek. Am I wrong? What language is it? I don't think this one is German or Oh, I'm correct? Yes! Oh, good to know. I thought it was a Korean name. I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of my first reaction to it.
You can read this in a Korean way. It actually is spelled to be Korean word.
Really?
Actually.
How would it sound?
Yeah. Yuenhyuk.
Oh, that makes perfect sense too. Of like,
but this thing's probably German.
Yeah, it's not. It's I was told it. I don't think this time it was German. It was like, I did like because I have to do the overview videos. Oh, it's a Dutch scientist. Okay. Yeah, because I have to do the overview video, so every time something releases, I would go like hunt down the original pronunciation. And sometimes there are like YouTube channels that have like this is like pronounced videos, but some of them are not accurate.
But they're like robots. Yeah, they're robots.
Some of them are not accurate. I'm like, no. So how I usually get these names, I look for history channels. People like, and then I cross-reference. There has to be like more than one person who like covered this historical character. Yeah.
Documentary channel. Yeah.
Sometimes they butcher it. Sometimes they butcher it so bad, and I'm like, this can't be it. Let me look for something else. And if it's a German name, I try to look for a German streamer or something like that, and then the way they pronounce it, I'll mimic that because they're probably like the most accurate, especially to like modern times. Because sometimes they have like old pronunciations.
I do the same thing when I do my videos.
Yeah.
I words I can't say. I Google it. First I Google it, and then I listen to the Google version. I'm like, maybe that's right. I don't know. And then I check out the videos, and I'm like, yo, this is a robotic voice, so it's probably just reading what it says, not really pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
And then I go to like History Channel. I'm like, okay, this sounds more believable. Like they're trying to be all fancy, like with their pronunciation. Okay, I do the same thing. Exactly the same.
Oh my god, yeah. Wait till they make a Swedish-based Sigma. Oh my god. I would try my best to read it. I would read the heck out of it. Oh yeah. So back when I banned a bot, like back to that point of like first experiencing negativity on YouTube, to me, I took it a lot better. Because to me, it was like my initial responses that I got from comments and stuff were very positive. And so to me, I was like, once you get big enough, your ratio of like, there's negativity. There's people who are actually constructive but just rude about it, but you can still get something out of it because they were actually pointing at something good. They're just not being nice about it, but it's still like, oh, thanks for that because now I know what to change. And then there's the haters of like, they just hate you because your video exists or because you exist. That's it. And to me, when I see haters, the first hater that I got, I was like, yes, I somewhat made it because this person is hating me for existing. You know, it's like, yes, I got my first hater, and it's a better. I feel like it's a better way to see it, but it's also like, yeah, you know, people are gonna hate, but like if your community is not big enough, you don't invite that kind of unwanted attention. And the fact that you're pulling people who didn't even want to watch your stuff and hate you for it, it's like, you know, maybe I'm big enough now.
That's exactly how I thought.
Yeah.
But I will say, before getting to that point though, I was like struggling, man. Like, cause I'm not in real life. I'm not the person that gets hated on a lot. I just kind of get out the way. It's not that I'm like super nice person. I just don't like conflict, so I just get out the way, right? So I never really got hated on in real life. And then doing the online thing, I get hated on like a daily basis. But in the beginning, when I first saw like the hate, like my mind was similar. Like, oh, my first hater, we're good. Like I'm making something out of this. But then that hit me so hard mentally. I didn't know what to do with it, yo. I was having like a mental breakdown, like, because I try to be a nice person. I just don't usually have much haters in real life.
I feel like the hardest part about hate comments is because you're trying to see if there's anything constructive you can make out of it. I think it's because you don't want to brush aside something that could actually help you. So when you get to the point where it's like, you can just immediately identify which one it is, and even if like it still has a bit of constructive criticism, but you're just gonna chuck it to hate, it's like you're past the point of like, yeah, I'm okay with that, you know, let's just get out of the way. So yeah, I mean, I also wasn't hated on, at least not to my knowledge, but I mean, there were instances where I like kind of got picked on. So like I was kind of used to that of like, yeah, okay, someone's against you, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. Like, it's like, oh, okay, you can't avoid it. You know. Oh, chaotic. Hello.
Hey, big boys here. Let's go. Chaotic always makes fun of me, but we good. Friends, so.
Right on topic.
Nah, he's cool. He's cool. I like, but like the hate comments, yo. I've gotten used to it now. Like, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It hurts me. It still hurts me. It does. I can't lie. It does hurt me. It does affect me. But I just learned to move on from it as quicker than you.
Yeah, I feel like affect is more accurate than hate. It's just I think it affects me too. Sometimes I'm like I unintentionally hit, because YouTube Studio is different from like YouTube on your phone. It's like a different app, right? Yeah. So like sometimes I hit YouTube Studio not when I intend to, and like, okay, you know, I'm here. I'll just scroll down and like it'll show you like your most recent comments. And I see something that's like super out of left field and it's like super negative. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, I see that sometimes. I'm like, oh god, did I really need to see that right now? You know, like.
But now I'm just over it so quickly. I see it and I laugh and I'm like, okay, is this should I remove this? Is this toxic enough? And even if it's like super negative, but it's not toxic, I just leave it. I'm like, yeah,
me too.
Because like if your community is there for you, you know they'll like shut this guy down, and sometimes he needs to stay on the comments for other people to come in and shut him down. So you don't remove it. But if it's like too toxic, or at least if it's like racially, like
Oh, those
racist or
things.
stuff, like yeah, you have to delete it immediately. But like if it's other than that, I know like I have faith in my community to be like, hey, you need to know what you're talking about, So it's like, I'll just leave it there. Let this guy get destroyed by the comments. If he doesn't get if he doesn't get detected after a while and I see it again, okay, then I'll delete it. So it's like, yeah, that's how I view it now. It's healthier that way because, but yeah,
Oh yeah.
the initial ones, yeah. The first few ones didn't hit me, I don't think as hard as you got hit by yours, but like they were still bad. I do remember. And
It's not that those hit you immediately. It's like it lingers in your mind, as in you see it, like you first several like hate comments, you see it and you're like, in your mind you know the answer, just ignore it.
yeah.
Right? Even if you're like a small YouTuber, you have an understanding. You're a knowledgeable person. You know the answer. Just ignore it. But it lingers if you're not used to it. This is something new that you're going through. It lingers and it eats at your brain. Like
sometimes, especially if it hits the nail on you, because like I think like my very very early viewers would have heard me talk about this a lot more then, but I haven't talked about it for a while. But I never liked my own voice, especially not how it sounds on recordings. And I was very much on the fence of like, should I even voice my own vids? And I did have one IRL friend who knew about like, I was posting stuff on YouTube, and he was like, if you wanna, like, I don't think I think like the amount of people who would appreciate voiced videos would be more than the people who would appreciate like a wall of text video. And it was like, just give it a shot. Like, if you really like, just see what the comments say. And I was lucky enough that the first few videos didn't have that, but like there were a string of videos, or not really a string. It's because we have the studio, the YouTube studio, so we can see it all in a different perspective, right? But they were like, what an annoying voice, or like, this video is good and informative, but the voice though. And then I was like, yeah, and I was like, that's the part that you're most like in the back of your head. You're like, dude, please don't let anyone touch on it, and it gets touched on it, and I'm like, ouch. And those were the hardest for me to get past. But like, I mean, sometimes at some point, like the positivity is more than the negativity, and you're like, okay, community is there for you, and like they accept that. Sometimes not every voice is for everyone. Some people prefer a deeper voice, some people prefer like so it's just, my god, what are these bots? The bots are also part of like, you made it, so the bots choose you instead of someone else.
right Yo, when I first got a bot in my stream, I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, they noticed me. It's like, nice.
Oh my god, the Twitch runs are also funny. Hey, you want to be famous? Oh my god. Really? I feel like Chaotic has a pretty good voice.
It's always, a lot of people can't handle their own voice.
That is true.
It took me like, I think it took me like 8 years constantly listening to my own damn voice to get used to. Because, I mean, before this, I used to do music stuff, so I had to hear my own voice all the time.
I hated that.
It annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah, like when you're editing your own vids and you have to go through like the same, because like especially if you're like syncing up video to audio and it happens to have your voice, you have to hear it like 100 times, and I'm like, oh no, when will this end? Oh my god.
I just wanna, I go through that so much. I want to punch myself in the face. It's like, shut up, stop talking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tired of your voice.
I have been annoyed by my own videos when I'm editing, but when you post it and it gets positively received, I'm like, huh.
Essentially, your brain and your ear gets tired of listening to the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But the viewers, like, it doesn't matter. They just watch it like a couple times and they're fine with it.
Oh,
like,
Chaotic. That's what I used to do too. Like, I would record the same thing. Like, I would listen to it play, and I'll be like, oh, I did this part so bad. I like re-record, and then when you re-record, you can't like sometimes it doesn't sound cohesive with like the previous part, and they're like, no, let's go back to here and re-record, and I was like, oh, I screwed the whole thing up, and then I delete all the audio on the entire video, and like, let's do a whole 20 minutes, which takes an entire day, and I'm like, oh, but now I'm a little, I don't know if I'm a little more confident or I just close one eye and do it. Of like, yeah, it's caring. Bad, but I don't care. Let's just go, you know. So I don't know which one it is, but because at some point it's like time constraint. So like it has to go out. It has to go out, and yeah, it's bad, but I'll just post. It's bad, I'll just post, you know. And yeah, when you re-record, it gets worse.
Sometimes usually it gets better.
If you,
but that's just because. How do I put it? You learn what you need to fix.
No,
when you hear
you can't do it when you're burnt out. Like if you've been recording for the whole day or the whole recording session that you have time for, you at the tail end, if you're trying to re-record, it's bad. But if you like, okay, let's put this down and like let's do it fresh another day. When you have like you listen to it and then you know what's bad and then you try to redo it, that one usually is good. So don't do it like it's the same for a lot of things. Like don't do it when you're overly tired. You have the experience of like doing it for that amount of time, but you're just tired. So just redo it another time.
The worst thing is when you try to split up half of your video's audio from one day and then half from the next day, and it doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there like, okay, I guess I have to do the whole thing. Like.
I've done that so many times because like there's also the proximity with your mic, and I have a pop filter usually when I'm recording for videos, and if you're nearer to the mic, your voice sounds deeper for some reason, and sometimes I try to get that to match because the first time I was recording I was like, oh, I was recording like that, and then like later on I'm like recording like that and it doesn't match, and I have to do it over again. Oh my god, so many nights.
Yeah, most of the time your voice, it just on a different day, your voice sounds different. You know what I mean? It's just a natural thing. Like, you know, when you wake up in the morning, at nighttime, you sound different.
Yeah.
It's just.
Yeah, I noticed that too. So I would pick the time of the day when I preferred my voice to record.
I always record at the same time now, at the same like distance from my mic, because I figured out. I guess what worked for me, right? Yeah. And. You know, it's a learning
when
thing.
You find it, it's so good because you save so much time.
Yeah.
On like for sure. Oh my god. Wow. Yeah, but okay. I think everybody goes through the same thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, even the bigger content creators I've seen have also, some of them can't even listen to their own voice till like even like when they're like 6 years into YouTube. They're still like, no, I can't listen to my own video. I hate it. I'm like, interesting. Thankfully, I've gotten over mine. Like, sometimes I can rewatch because, especially with streaming, sometimes my audio levels are bad, so I have to rewatch it to like, oh, voice was bad, or like music was too loud, or then this setting. Yeah. Especially recently when I had like a Windows update or something, and all my settings went to crap, so I had to redo. So there were streams when I couldn't hear myself, and I'm like surprised that chat could still hear me. So yeah, it's a learning curve. Okay.
But we do learn every day.
Oh boy, it's almost time for my own voice to sound at least. Yeah, one of the high-profile actors that has this issue, and I think we should close on this. I know you're gonna have streams later, and it's been 3.5 hours. It's been fun, but like let's close on one of the mainstream actors who also has this issue is Benedict Cumberbatch. He said like till this day he can't really even watch his own movies or his own shows.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, I know a lot of.
Yeah,
people
he said like it's like hearing your own voice on the phone over the phone for the first time. And I was like, wow, he's such a big time actor, and like oh my god, that's so sad because he can't watch Doctor Strange, man.
Yeah. I think I heard him say that.
Yeah, I've heard him say that a couple of times, and I'm like, wow, someone as huge and experienced as he, as he is also faces that. So wow, it's interesting. Islands face over Saloon. What?
What?
Where is Saloon? Nope, I don't think so. Well, whew. Okay. Yeah, this has been a really great stream for me.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
We talked about a lot.
yeah. I feel like we could go on for a long time, but you know, we have
Yeah.
stuff to do as well. Yeah, but any last closing points you want to touch on?
Sure. I actually had this prep ready.
Oh, wow.
No, just a couple of things. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is my first time doing a podcast, similar things, and I'm very thankful that I was invited here in the first place.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. So if you're from my community, go ahead and subscribe to MG's channel. Why not? You've been here the whole time.
Thank you.
If anything, hit the like button because it pushes the algorithm. And you know what? If you're not hitting that like button, I'm disappointed. Hit it now. Okay. Now, with that said, for those of you, I just wanted to share something. For those of you who play Genshin, if you didn't know, I actually am doing a giveaway. So
Oh,
if you're interested in the giveaway, ends literally tonight after my Honkai Impact stream, and all you have to do is just go to my Twitter. It's in there. It's Raiden Shogun giveaway. Okay.
all right.
So if you're interested, yeah, just go check it out. Yeah, and then I stream Honkai later today. Hopefully, it's not too crazy. I don't know what's gonna happen in this
11 EX?
bubble universe. The second bubble universe.
Oh, so it's still 11. Okay.
Yes. We'll see what happens.
Wow. Sad. Everything's sad from now on. Everything's sad. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, that's what people have been telling me, actually. Exactly that. I don't think you're lying to me right now. I feel like it's exactly what everybody's been saying.
Nah, there's still happy moments. There's still happy moments.
Oh, who was it? Somebody in my Discord server was like literally told me, hey, just so you know, if you feel uncomfortable playing, take it really slow. I'm telling you, 11 is gonna start picking up and you're gonna feel really sad again. Just really take it slow, and if you need help, talk to me.
Whoa.
Genuine. So genuine. And I was like scared out of my mind. Like, what is gonna happen? I don't know.
What? Wow. I don't know what to make out of that.
I mean, I'm very thankful, but I'm so scared.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
we'll see.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's been a really nice stream. And usually we keep it like 2 hours plus, but it's been so. I mean, I didn't even notice the time, and not to say we shouldn't go above it. It's just because I feel like also a huge majority for me, because I'm playing Asia servers, so like a lot of them are Asia also. So like we're like late in Asia, but you know, there's I guess I'll come back and watch the VOD for the rest of them who can say. But yeah, that's primarily the reason why we keep it short. Also, like, you know, in case you have stuff to do later. But yeah, it was super fun, and yeah, anyone from Island's community or my community, thank you guys all for being here, and we'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.
Bye. Thanks.